And we're rolling. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Better now that you're here.
You're always too kind.
Yeah. So you were just talking about you used to do podcasting before.
Yeah. So you had asked me if this was my first time on a podcast, and actually no. Michael and I used to do one. It's been a long time now, but we used to cover video games, comic books, movies, and cons. Really was the big thing. We used to go to any con we could find, any weekend we could find it, and we just head down, see what was there, and then report back, trying to get people interested, because there's some cool stuff out there. El Paso has one. I think Las Cruces is actually coming up with the first one in a while since pre-COVID, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, I used to be big into it, and I had a website. I would, one of the big thing people at the cons would always say is that just promote yourself, because nobody else is going to promote you, until you can get a good following. Promote yourself, put stuff out there, put content out there. So I would, and I had collected a following, but you don't make money off that stuff. So I finally had to get a real job, and I started teaching. That's when I started teaching, but I had a pretty good going for a while. Do you ever watch any of them? It's old Marvel now, but there's a lady named Ming Na Wen, and she started following me. She's on on a Marvel. God, I can't remember the movie now, or there's a TV show, and it had Agent Coulson, because apparently he dies in a Marvel movie, but he actually was in the island or something in a dream, and they bring him back, and they're just chasing superheroes all over. And anyways,
Sick.
She's an actress on that, and I had a couple of people from the nerdy world in California try to follow. And
Dope. Like Comic-Con. What are the other cons?
So you have WonderCon, which is in California as well. Comic-Con International's in San Diego. It's usually always in the third week of July. It's in the third week of July this year. You also have Dragon Con, which is more board games, and the South by Southwest, which is more it's not a con at all. It's more interactive.
It's just a big festival of music and stuff too, right?
Yeah. It's kind of technology and all that. There's it's E3. It's in California.
Games and
That's
stuff?
Games. They are not doing it this year because of COVID. But there's still going to be a showcase with Bethesda and Xbox on the 12th here coming up in 5 days. And then they have, God, I can't even remember the other game con that I've gone to. It's in San Antonio. PAX South.
Nice. A lot of cons.
Yeah. We went to a lot of cons for a long time. So yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's basically was my whole personality in my 20s. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So didn't you grow up in Ruidoso? I
grew up in Ruidoso, born and raised, tiny town, just an hour from here. Everybody knows everybody. I think I don't know. Can you cuss on this?
You thought Alamo was bad, but Ruidoso, everyone knows everybody. Yeah, you can swear.
Okay.
Man, my other episodes, I'm damn sailor. But
I don't know. There was at least when I was in high school, college.
You say whatever you want to say.
The motto for Ruidoso was where there's nothing to do but each other kind of thing, in Meth Mountain. It was just Ruidoso's small.
Yeah.
And there's, nothing to do but each other. So.
Right.
Yeah. Ruidoso.
Well, there you go.
I don't know.
So you didn't start going to all these cons and stuff. You moved to what? Is that when you were going to college and stuff?
Yeah, I went to college in Austin, Texas. I had to get out. New Mexico is a black hole. Everyone comes back. I don't know. We're just drawn to this place.
Right.
And
the gravity is intense.
Really is.
Just like a black hole.
It's pulling you back in. And I came back, so I guess it's true. But I had gone to Austin to St. Edward's University there, and I met Michael my first year, and I just kind of, I don't know, before college, I just didn't understand who I was, I guess, maybe. And I just kind of grew into myself in college. I kind of figured out, I like this, I don't like this, this is what I'm about, this is not what I'm about, and I'm just going to do what makes me happy. And I think a lot of people do that in college. You kind of figure yourself out and find people who align with you and, write off people who don't. And
Sure.
yeah, it was very freeing in a lot of ways, because especially in Ruidoso, I don't know, maybe it's all high schools, but like you get pegged in this one thing,
Right.
and
That's what you're
just
known
stuck,
as.
yeah, you're just stuck there. And yeah, I was able to just kind of
Break out of that and
break out of that.
find different circles.
But I still feel myself, like when I go back home, we're all older now, but I still, like, if I see other people who I knew from the past, I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
this is who I'm not gonna.
It's like a double-edged sword, huh?
yeah.
Because it's kind of sweet seeing people from the past, you know, like, especially ones who are doing good.
Yeah.
And you're like, dope, like, that's cool, man, you know?
I'm very proud of a lot of the kids I, like, went to school with. Very proud, but.
And then, of course, there's the other extreme side of that spectrum, and all in between. But
And all in between.
it's kind of a bummer seeing people from before that aren't doing good. But, I mean, that's just, that's what they told you, you know?
You're gonna. It's both ways. It's both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change is inevitable. So, anyway, we got some of this
Yes.
this red
I'm sorry, I do
Viva
love
La
wine.
Roja, Heart of the Desert wine. It's pretty good stuff.
I've never had the sweet wine from Heart of the Desert.
It's
so
pretty
I'm excited.
sweet.
Are you from here? I've never asked you. I'm sorry. I know it's your podcast, but.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was born in Cali, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously.
That's why you're so cool.
Seriously.
I get it.
But no, yeah, New Mexico, all the way, all day, all along.
I know it.
Yeah, grew up in Alamo, pretty much. I got family in Arizona, like my dad lives over there and stuff. So
That's
for
cool.
like summers and stuff, I'd go over
You go.
there. Those were my summers away from home.
Yeah.
Tucson,
Oh, okay,
mostly.
okay.
and then yeah, I've circled around a little bit. But as far as living, pretty much just Alamo and Tucson,
Very cool.
pretty much forever.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
I
though.
lived in Austin for like 8 years, and then I drug Michael back, kicking and screaming, but he's here now, so I won.
Yeah.
We're going.
Austin's dope though, huh? I hear a lot of good things about Austin.
It is the coolest place I think I could ever imagine. I would
Wow.
like to live there again, but it's gotten so expensive, dude. Like, Michael got a job there, and he technically works in Austin, but he's just working from home.
Oh.
But when he had gotten a job there, we were like, okay, we're gonna move, and we're looking at houses, and Jesus, Like,
Right.
that market is fucking insane, and it's only getting worse. And so I don't know if we'll ever get back, but I'm hoping because that'd be a cool place. And I think, I don't know, I just like the vibe, honestly. It's just a good place for kids. It's a good place for young adults, and I don't know. I have family here though, so that's kind of what's keeping me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not too far though. What's the drive from there?
No.
9 hours?
Yeah, it's 9 hours if you go on the interstate, and we go as often as we can. We're actually going back like next week, so.
Sick. I have a friend who just moved there about a year ago, and man, I swear I just want to randomly bust in on him, because we'll joke around. Because back when he used to live in town, we hang out a lot, you know, and he'd hit me up, like kind of sarcastically, but like say it'd be like 9 a.m, and he'd be like, just text me one word, pint ? And I'd be like
Yes.
at work or something, but I'd be like, man, definitely later. But we were just joking around. So then I'd do the same thing to him, knowing when he was at work or something, I'd be at pint ? And or like there was this I've discovered over the years that friendship is like inside jokes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
only it takes one to know one, you know,
Yeah.
where you're like there's just so many funny little nuances to a friendship that or you know, any kind of relationship where you're like, man, we've been through it, and you'll say something, or you could just walk into a place and just start laughing
Right.
like with your person,
Like, you know.
because they see the same thing you do in the same way. But Joey D, this guy that I'm referring to, we had a bunch of inside jokes, as with a lot of my other friends and family. But like one time we were at this party and like this girl was with one of our friends, like they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
But she was texting us. We were all in the same room. She could have just said something to us, but she texted me like, "What are you doing tonight?" And it was already really late. It was like I looked at her and I'm like, "This is what we were doing tonight."
This is it.
Like after this, I'm just going home to my girlfriend. Duh.
Oh my God.
And then like she texted him the same thing too. Like, "What are you doing tonight?" It's just so now like I'll send him a message sometimes.
What
I'm
are you
like,
doing
"What are you doing tonight?" And like, hopefully in his mind, he hears that.
He hears the.
And I know he does. But
Oh my God.
anyway, I want to go to Austin and just text him like, "What are you doing tonight?" And that way he thinks it's a joke again. And then just be
you're
like, "No, seriously, like
I'm here. What
I'm
are
on
you
6th
doing?"
Street or whatever, you know. I'm at the skate park, whatever they call it, House Park or whatever. Come down here."
6th Street. Jesus.
I don't know anything about it. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if that's still like a thing anymore. I'm assuming it is.
They're
but
probably bringing it back.
Jesus, yeah, that was a trip. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember.
Good times down there, but too blurry.
Probably.
Too blurry to remember.
Probably it was. I do remember, and Michael has it. The abandonment starts now, because I went downtown, and I remember calling him. He worked nights. I remember calling him. I don't know what I said, but I ended up in his car, and he took me all the way back to the apartment, and he bought me Whataburger on the way because he's a gentleman, and he's like, I gotta go back to work, and I'm like, no, you have to stay with me, and he's like, I'm supposed to be at work, and I'm like, the abandonment starts now, and so like sometimes whenever he has to go somewhere, I'm like, the abandonment, like,
and that's one of your inside jokes.
That's one of our inside jokes. Yep.
Yeah, that's when you know when you got something with somebody, you know. It's just like all those little nuances. It's just like,
yeah. I don't know. That was a crazy time.
How's that wine? Is it too sweet? Is it kind of gnarly?
It is not as bad as I thought. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be sweet wise. So I'm a nerd, and I do like wine.
Cool. I don't know anything about wine.
Sweet wine, because it's sweet, it has more sugar, right? Or things that are sugar-like, and so they dehydrate you faster, which means you get a bigger hangover, or you possibly can, just because of the sugar content. So I usually avoid things that are sweet only because I don't want to have a hangover.
Yeah.
And I know how to manage like dry red or dry white hangovers, but as long as you drink water, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's my hint. If you ever needed a hint, just make sure you drink water when you're drinking. There you go.
Definitely gotta have the water.
I'm sorry, like it's.
No. What's up with sulfites? Do you know anything about that? Like with the headaches?
Is
there some chemistry shit behind that?
There's chemistry shit behind that.
What do you know about sulfites?
So I know that they're real popular right now. Those little things that you put in your glasses or you put on your bottles that you can like, I don't know, like get the sulfites out,
like
or
neutralize it or something.
Yeah, and so sulfite or sulfate, it depends. Like I know has both. It's just a compound SO4 with a charge, so it's called a polyatomic ion with a 2- charge. Sulfite's SO3 with a 2- charge, but it's basically the same thing. Sulfur with 2 or 3 or 4 oxygens, and apparently it just causes people to have migraines or get headaches very quickly. And so a lot of times people don't drink wine because of the sulfates, or they drink but not a lot because of the sulfates, and it just gives them headaches. So I guess now they have, I don't know,
some sort of like packet.
But everything's a chemical. Like that's one of those things that bothers me. I'll just say it. My soapbox. Like no, you know how everything's like people are like, I have to be organic. I think you might be this way actually. I have to be organic. It has to not have chemicals. I'm like literally everything's a chemical. Literally everything's a chemical.
No, thank you for saying that. No, because I was just about to say thank you because my brother has been saying that like because he vapes.
Oh yeah.
You know. And he catches like people talking shit about vape and whatever and comparing it to cigarettes. And he's like, well, at least there's no combustion. And they're like, well, what about all those chemicals? And he's like, fuck, everything's a chemical. You know? And so it's like we started going down this road about how everything's a chemical.
Everything.
So when you said that just now, I'm like, my brother is just like,
hit you?
I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
No, everything's a chemical. You're
this
never
water
gonna
is
get
a chemical.
It's literally yes.
The table's everything is a chemical.
Literally yes, because everything's made up of matter. And matter can be broken down into 4 different main categories: elements, compounds, mixtures, which are homogeneous and heterogeneous, and unless it's energy, which is like, or like a random like thoughts, love, the idea, like ideas, those are obviously not energy nor matter. But okay, electricity, energy, like heat transfer, energy. Otherwise it's matter. Like smoke is matter. Air is matter. Like so, and that's all made of chemicals. It's a chemical. So unless it's energy or just like an abstract idea, it's a chemical.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. That's a soapbox.
No, I like it. We needed that. That's why I wanted John here. I was like, this will be cool.
No, I have the weirdest brain. I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize in advance.
We all have the weirdest brains. We're all a bunch of weirdos.
Oh no,
Every
that's
single
true.
person out there.
I appreciate and agree with that, or at least I try to.
Everything is weird because I was driving home earlier and I'm like, I don't think of anything that's not weird. Because I think I was thinking forward to tonight.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
us
weird.
talking and just like how it's strange that I ended up like, teaching.
Yes.
And you ended up teaching, and like I'm having a conversation with a fellow teacher person, and I was just like, how random, And then my mind goes to that. Well, that's kind of weird. And then my other part of my mind was like, everything's fucking weird. Like,
I never wanted to be a teacher.
it's crazy.
I never, ever, ever in my life thought that I would end up being a teacher. I have family who are teachers. My aunts are all teachers. They're amazing people. It was just never something that was on my radar of, what do you want to do when you grow up? It was never teacher. Like, never.
Yeah.
I was like, that might be lower on my list of things to do, but fucking life, man. Like, my degree was in forensic science. I have a minor in chemistry. I thought, yeah, I'm going to go be in a lab, work with the city government, with the federal government. I wanted to work with ATF. Well, I know that's probably crazy, but like alcohol, tobacco, firearms,
Sure.
and explosives. Yeah. That government, like I wanted to like do stuff in the lab, and
That's cool as shit.
yeah. Yeah, I swear I thought I was going to have people come knock on my door or something. My senior thesis was on explosives and like how to detect them, how people are getting around them. Like, I know that's crazy. I know.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like doing all this research. I'm like, someone's going to come knocking on my door. Like, what the hell are you researching over here? And New Mexico Tech actually has a program where they do explosives. And
Is it like
and you study-
Socorro?
Yeah, Socorro.
They're like a big deal, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
They're a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was one of the. I only applied to 3 schools: New Mexico Tech, which I got in; St. Edward's, which I got in; and then Rochester Institute of Technology, which I got in. But New York seemed so fucking far away, and New Mexico Tech seemed too close, so I ended up going to Austin. But
Oh, sick.
yeah, they have an explosives program there, and it's pretty crazy, and it's pretty damn awesome. And I always thought I was just gonna go that route, and I graduated in 2009. Which was when there was a hiring freeze everywhere in the goddamn world, and you couldn't get a job anywhere.
High school,
or at least
right?
I can,
Yeah, right?
College. I
Oh,
graduated
okay,
college in
okay.
2009,
I thought, all right,
and yeah, I just kind of ended up fucking around for like a few years, not doing anything because I couldn't find a job. Yeah, and
Sick.
doing a podcast, and then eventually I started subbing back in Ruidoso at my old high school with all my old teachers. That was weird. That was a trip.
yeah.
That was a trip.
Existential crisis.
And then finally after 2 years, I was like, fuck it, I'll teach. Like,
Yeah. Was there something that drew you towards subbing? Was it like flexible income, or like you can work or not work, or was
Yeah.
it anything like that?
yeah, well,
Because that's kind of what it was for me. I was like, subs can kind of work, or like if you if you
cannot
wake up
work.
if you wake up that morning and you're like, I don't feel like you don't have to take the job,
Yeah.
unless you signed up for like a multi-day thing, and you're kind of obligated. Like if you take a 3-day assignment or something, but
Yeah, or
even then you
long-term.
could still bail out or something.
Yeah,
what are they gonna do?
I
You know?
had young children, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to anyone. I'm not a housewife. Like, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Kind of kudos to people who are, because that job is fucking hard. I'm not one of those kind of people. I have to be doing something. I'm not like, yeah, I can't like.
You got to be busy doing
I have
something.
to be busy, and also I don't like to be needed. When I start feeling like people like need me too much, I get overwhelmed. That's weird, I know, because I have 2 kids who need me all the time. But like when I feel that way, it's like a lot of pressure. So I was like, I have to do something else besides just hang out with these cool kids all day. So yeah, I started subbing, and that way, like if I did need to be gone, if they were sick or something, I could take off. But
Right.
also I could send them to daycare, and I could go do something. And so yeah, that's how I started.
You just needed some sort of work,
Just
something.
needed something.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I don't like
Yeah.
to. I know. I'm like, I look like I would like to just sit around, and sometimes I do. I like to sit around and play video games all day. Like, that's a great day for me, but I have to keep busy. And
It's good for you.
teaching is one of those jobs, if you do it right, you're never going to be bored. You know, because every day you can go in with a plan, and it's all fucked by like 8 a.m. and you're like, what the hell's happening now? And things just go sideways real fast, and so, and then it's just, you're always working. Like, there's always something to do. There's always something to tackle. There's always some other thing you have to get done. Or at least for me, I never feel like I'm done working ever, and I never get bored, which is actually it became the perfect job for me, but
Sick.
yeah, it's just because I'm type A and I'm like to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started for me because of like, I thought about subbing because I was like, yeah, flexible work, and I was doing like the skate shop and kind of going to school and kind of, I was like, maybe I could plug in some work here or there, and like, you know, but subbing was like super weird for me. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It's totally weird.
Weren't you in a computer lab or something, or you were?
When they actually finally hired me, I was like hired on like 6 weeks before the end of the year. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
I remember. Yeah.
It was like an earth science class that had
On the
never had a
computers.
teacher, so they were doing all like credit recovery
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
modules, even though it was like a real class, but they were using like the credit
The thing.
recovery stuff to like facilitate it.
Yeah.
And it was just, kind of just show up and take attendance and just sit
Monitor them.
around. And some of the kids were completely done with the class, like
Oh,
they
they
already ran
finished.
through it at their own pace, ran through it.
Yeah.
And others hadn't even really started, and it was like 6 weeks till the end of the year.
Finish, yeah.
And so I was just like, I don't know. It was even that was super weird.
I
I
remember
didn't really feel at home until I finally got my own spot.
your
over there.
classroom. Your classroom across from me. I remember that.
Yeah.
I still tell people, like yesterday I told people, I said the best thing for me was to have Chasm across the hall from me because I'm so crazy wound up all the time type A and he's so chill and just that vibe, that energy that he's putting out in the hallway, it was like the best thing for me because I go crazy. And if other people are going crazy with me, that's never good. We just spin each
man.
other around. Like I need that, hey, how's it going? Every day's a good day. Like that you do. It's pretty great. Like I just where's
Yeah.
Chasm? I need to go down and remember this year I went down a few times and one of those times was in a dinosaur costume.
Oh, that
I'm
was
sorry
sick.
about that. But
No, that was
I was
cool.
like trying to think which teachers would not mind me coming into their room just being ridiculous right now, and I was like, Chasm probably wouldn't hate me.
Dude,
Like,
that is always welcome.
and that was one of the best days of my teaching career. Just
Anything
like,
just to throw a wrench in the day is perfect. You know?
I would enter my classroom with the Jurassic Park theme coming, like it would start, and then I'd be like in my dino. That was a great day.
That's awesome.
That was a great day.
Those things, maybe I've talked about this before, but it's those things that kind of slow your life down a little bit. When you break the routine, the everyday,
The monotony.
the monotony. Like a novel experience, something that
Yes.
stands out where you're like, oh, I remember that day. Like, what'd you do last Wednesday? You're like, I don't know. I don't remember last Wednesday. But you'll always remember that day, like you had the dinosaur costume. You know? That'll always stick out. So the more of those things you can do,
That's
kinda
true.
like, it brings longevity to your life because you're like, it makes those days stand out. They don't just blend in and blur into the rest of every other day.
I think that's great. That's a great way to look at it. That makes a lot of sense when you stop and think about. Oh, that just blew my mind. Yeah, I
think it came from it's a science guide channel, Veritasium. You seen that dude? What's his name? Oh, he's badass.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I know you get all philosophical. That you lean toward like that philosophical side of things. That always tripped me up too. You'd go and you'd say something like, "Why did he do that?" Now my brain is gonna be broken all day trying to think about what you just said. You did that a lot too.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't consciously do it, and just maybe just wired.
No,
that
you're
way.
just
I don't
like,
know.
hey, so I saw something. I miss you having it in my hallway. Hey, I just saw something and it said blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, and then you would just leave. And I would be stuck there in my brain like, wait, what?
Well, now what?
Like, what am I supposed to do with that information? Now I'm going to have to like research and because I'm like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I missed all of that. Yeah. And then you moved, and I know it wasn't very far away, but it's like you could be light years now because like you're all.
It's worlds apart.
It really is.
Which is a bummer.
But no, it's good. And I keep telling kids they need to go take your class and they need to, like that one girl who I was trying to introduce to, because she was so nervous about signing up for art. And I was just like, no, you need to go meet this teacher. You need to listen to what he says because you can do it if you want to. Like, it's not something to be.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. God
Maybe
damn.
not me, but like.
No, seriously, because, yeah, I mean, I guess there's some people with they're just born and they're just like prodigy painters or musicians or whatever, you know. But everything I've ever done has always just been like.
You work at it.
Just the desire to be like, or just you fake it till you make it kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Where like I look back at my old stuff from a kid and stuff, I've always been a creative type. like writings and drawings and
You liked that.
little
You were drawn to that.
stuff. And it's weird. I realized it way later on that I'm like, dude, I've been doing this forever.
And
like,
I didn't even.
making stuff, you know, like just like the orange curb stuff and the stickers and the boards, or like making skate
That's
videos
true.
or making music or
Yeah.
drawing stuff or painting stuff or coming up with a business idea.
This
or
is
like
hard for me.
doing
Like,
we did a skateboard ramp on a trailer for a Christmas parade, like
Oh
a
my
half
God.
pipe on a float, and it's just like I
That's
don't
amazing.
know. I'm just always making shit.
Yeah.
just like it didn't exist, now it does.
now
and
it's
then-
there.
Or
now
and
I
then
can't do
some
that.
of it goes away and some of it sticks, and I don't know.
I have ideas.
It's always been.
They stay here. You know, like this is as far as they go. I can't. No action there, like at all.
But you were doing podcasting for a while. Like how are you guys doing it?
Yeah.
Like
Not as cool as this. Not even a little bit. It was just not even a little bit. It was just a laptop. And oh shoot, Mario. So Mario and I are about to start a new one. And because he had done a couple of podcasts last year, and he wanted to get into it. And I was like, oh, I'll do that with you.
sick.
I don't know. Do you know Mario Loya?
Loya?
Yeah,
He's a teacher, right?
He started this past year. Yeah,
I know the name. Can't
He's like a really fucking tall dude.
quite remember him, but I'm sure if I saw him.
You'd probably see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're actually like really good friends now. I met him at school, and like we just hang out as much as we can now. And he was the one who was like, I want to start podcasting again. And he said this app, and he's like, this is what I use, Audacity. He uses
yeah.
it. So I just
It's a
did
digital
free
audio
shit.
workstation.
Yeah, it was just free shit. And I put it
not?
on like SoundCloud because that's what was there at the time. And so and then I just have like a little snowball. Like it's not even as cool. Like it's not this cool. It's just a little snowball that did 360, or you could do 180 sound to
sick.
capture. And yeah, I just kind of put it on a laptop and went for it.
You know, there is no one way with
Yeah.
anything, and gear and audio gear, and it's just the spectrum is endless. Like, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of podcasters. There's a mic. I want one for my studio just for vocals and stuff.
Does it
And
have
it's
the, like,
the
little
Shure SM7B. It's like it's an iconic mic, and you'll see them on like Joe Rogan podcast or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Nine
yeah.
Club, or like in a lot of music studios, a lot of like people musicians and stuff, a lot of their home studios, they use the Shure SM7B. But those bastards are like $400 for one. You know, I'll get
Yeah.
one eventually, not for the podcast, but these are $20 Behringer mics.
This is amazing.
And I have a SM57, which is that's a staple workhorse. It's a Shure mic, just like the SM7B, but it's SM57.
It's like
and they've been using it for years. You
Right.
can use it on snare drums or guitar cabinets or
Oh, that's cool.
vocals or anything.
Yeah.
But if you listen to an SM57, sure, it's $100, or this $20 Behringer. I mean, only a trained ear would
Will
really,
know.
like an audio engineer would know. And then still with your equalizer, you know, like your bass, mids, and trebles, you could EQ one mic or the other to almost match each other.
That's
So,
crazy.
Like if you know what you're doing, you can
you'll
make
be
anything
fine.
sound good or anything sound like shit. So
You can mess it up
you know.
so bad. That would be me messing up
But
so
if
bad.
you guys ever, get it going again and you have some audio questions, I'm not a genius by any means.
You know, I'm
but
like messaging.
I could
Cassim.
point you in the right direction of a pretty cheap shopping list that
Yeah.
would get you
Well,
a
that's
decent
actually
setup.
probably I'm gonna like
'Cause
message you right now because
Honestly, what we're
his
running
little
here
room,
is anyone can do it.
Like he made these himself. These things that like are noise dampeners.
Yeah.
He has he made his own little studio. And he has a mic. I just need to buy it. Well, I could use mine, but I'll just buy another one that faces just this way.
Yep.
And that's what we're looking for.
Yep.
So that we could start, and we're trying to start before the 12th, but I don't think we're ever going to get there because he wanted to look at the Xbox showcase that I was telling you about with Bethesda and a couple of others, and then we were going to talk about it, but I don't know if we'll get set up in time. But yeah, that was what we're...
Sick.
Yeah.
You'll get set up.
I think so. I just, I don't want to force him, and it's I don't know, it's hard for me to do stuff because I feel like I bother people a lot. It's my anxiety. I have fuck ton of anxiety. And I feel like anything I do, I'm just bothering everybody all the time. And so I don't want to bother him and like push him too hard. And like Michael's already said, he's like, I'm never doing a podcast with you again because you're overwhelming. I'm like, thanks. And he like, because I want to do it. And then he wants to, like, after he gets off work, he wants to relax or like hang out with the kids or like play video games. And I'm like, hey, so we're going to start like prepping for the podcast. And he's like, oh, that's more work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fair. But it's work to get something you love and something you're, you know.
It is work.
It's work.
It's a lot of work on the back end of like editing and uploading and sharing and just making sure it all goes through. And then, like, you know, like if you're going to do video, if you're going to sync up the audio to the video, do you have an editing program for video and batteries and just... There's just a lot of little things, but it's actually not that much. Like if you keep it simple,
it overwhelms Michael. So I like I said, I don't want to overwhelm.
It's kind of like the teaching thing. Like you can make it as hard on yourself as you want,
that's true.
Or you can make it a lot easier on yourself, depending on like. That's what I realized.
I have learned to let stuff go.
That first year of mine, like I think I just tried way too hard, and I was just. I mean, like, you know, I was just. But I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't have much to lean back on or anything.
No, that's true. That's fair.
But now that I'm in like more in my own zone, I can just relax.
Yes. No, I agree with you.
And the kids come in and do art; they know what to do, and I don't have to hardly do much.
Right. You get it set up at the beginning of the year. No, you get stuff set up at the beginning of the year. If you do it right, you work in like, you know, you work really hard in August, September to set and like make sure they know the rules, and then. In October, they kind of like push back a little bit, but then once they know you mean business, or at least this is for chemistry, like once they know that you mean business, after like October, the class kind of it's really chill. It's really chill, you know. Not that you don't have to do work, but they kind of get it by then. Hopefully, if you've done it right, they get it by then. There's
like an analogy, a cheesy analogy that I've thought of as like a ship, you know. And it's like as long as no one's like putting holes in the ship, like, you know, you just got to keep people from like fucking sinking everybody. And you're like, as long as no one's gonna like derail this mission that we're on.
No, that's
and,
like,
burn it all to the ground, you know.
I always get worried about the lab situations with that because they want to have fun.
Literally, yeah, the lab.
Literally labs. I'm like. Okay, you're gonna have fun, but you gotta do your work and you gotta do it safely. And like, I get real.
I used to trip out on that too, like wood shop. We had wood shop when I was in high school.
And the ones that have the fire, what's the welding stuff? I don't know if I could ever do welding as a teacher. Like that's
some liability, huh? It's crazy. It's just a lot of shit going on.
This is the sparks.
Dude, the wood everywhere. Shop though, with the band saws and table saws and shit and all that, and the kids and their phones and all that. I couldn't imagine that happening
you
now.
Could not pay me enough to teach one. Like those people are amazing because I wouldn't.
Like we don't have wood shop anymore. They should bring it back, but
they don't have it. I didn't even know that. I know they have like the car thing.
Automotive, yeah.
And they have the welding thing, and that's really popular, the welding stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like I had no interest in at all when I was a kid, but now it's like
I wish I know that.
Really interested in, but I'm like, man, welders are badass.
Cool. That'd be cool to what?
Like you can make good money doing that, and like you have a real skill. Like I always joke around like the zombie apocalypse. I'm like, at least you have a real skill and you know how to weld. Like my dumbass will be like, I don't know, man. Like I've got some ideas, you know.
Do you have a zombie plan? This is a big question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think it's outlast the majority of other, you know, outlast the herd, you know.
Yeah.
The unprepared, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not even saying I'm all that prepared, or that I'm not the average. I'm for all I know, I might just be the average, like fucking person that'll get eaten. But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe being physically fit, maybe having some food put aside. You know, a couple of guns or something, and just a way to like hunker down while shit goes crazy. You know.
Well, I heard something. This is a long time ago.
Until the big wave rolls through, and then you're just defending yourself from the other tribes of people.
And
the Negans.
That's true.
Which Negan is just the government. So.
Jesus, I know.
It's like
I didn't even think about that.
We're already in the zombie apocalypse. If you really think about it, you're already like Negan's already coming and taking half your shit, but they're just called the tax man instead. You know.
Oh no. Yeah, I know. I used to think
Uncle
about
Sam's got a spiked baseball bat.
Jesus, he's like coming for you.
He's like, bitch, give me a third of what you make. If you don't,
that hurts my soul.
I'm gonna put your ass in jail.
I used to read so many zombie things. I really thought, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna survive. And now I'm like, I don't even know, dude. But
I don't know either.
I was thinking that zombies, you know, maybe can't survive the cold, so go somewhere cold. They'll have to freeze or move slower because
They'll be like
Again,
literally locking up.
I'm so dumb. But literally, like things that are like, so plus particles move slower when they're cold, like when temperatures are lower, right? Mm-hmm. Even zombie particles. Like, I have no idea. I just know that they freeze whenever they're in colder temperatures, and that's one of the things I like. I like zombies. I'm not so great at horror, but I do enjoy getting scared to death by thinking about what the fuck would happen if a zombie tried to attack me.
That is a trip, huh? Just the what if.
Well, and I mean, it's not too far removed because, again, science nerd brain, there's this species of, like, bacteria or virus that infects ants and, like, causes them to basically just, like, the ants will not... And this happens to, like, something else, too. But they attack the ant's brain, and then they control it, and they try to make them, like, drown or, like, go into, like... Or maybe it's a mosquito. Anyways, there's this, like, bacteria or something that, like, it causes... Maybe it's a cat. I don't know. It attacks the brain, and it causes them to, like, go near water, and they get more hosts. Maybe because the mosquitoes are near water. Maybe it's a mosquito. Anyways, so, like, then you have no control over your body, and you just become literally a zombie. Or these, like, cats are...
Like, possessed or something.
Cats or ants do, yeah. And it's, like, this whole... I had a whole class on it, and it's like it makes them do stuff that they normally wouldn't do in order to, like, for this bacteria or virus or whatever it is to survive, and they're controlling the organism in order to, like, reproduce and spread, and it's just crazy.
You're ringing a bell for me too. I can't quite remember what it is, but
now I can't remember anything. My brain went dead when you put the microphone in front of me. But
shit.
It's a cool. And crazy. It's not too far removed. Like,
it's not too far removed. You know, and a lot of science fiction has become reality too.
I know.
Like even touchscreen phones and all that. Like I have a friend, you know, he's like my mom's age, so he's like 56 or 57 or something like that.
My parents the same age.
But he always talks about, he's like, man, when I was a kid, you know, like touchscreens and shit and like whatever, FaceTime, that was future.
Yeah.
That was like Star Trek.
Now it's here.
And now it's like, you know, nothing else, you know, and it's the same thing.
You want to know what blew my mind? This happened a few years ago already now, but like, and there was a whole commercial series on it where they just, like, went to their phone and, like, talked to people through their phone. And it was like
a watch?
Like, it was the watch. It was the Apple Watch, I think. But they were like, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? And that for me is when I realized, oh shit, the future is now. Because, like, you would read stuff and they're like, oh yeah, on your watch you could talk to people.
Yeah.
And
wasn't it like Power Rangers?
Yeah. They had the, like...
yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Like, and then there was a commercial, and all the people were like,
I'm sure it was more than just Power Rangers, but the one I'm thinking of, I'm like, didn't they have watches or something?
They have the little watches.
Yeah.
Zordon.
Yeah. I forgot all about that stuff. I have a friend he was on here actually a couple weeks ago, Tim Coles, man. Shout out Tim Coles. But he's always like rocking a Power Rangers shirt or something, dude. And he's like all about Power Rangers. And I'm like, that's what's up.
The Power Rangers fucking cool. Maybe he's gone to a con.
But the one movie they did a couple of years ago was actually pretty dope. Did you see that one?
I have watched like half of it. And that's it.
Yeah.
I never watched the whole thing.
What were you going to say? Con or?
Like, no, maybe he's gone to cons. Like, so Jason, the guy who played the Green Ranger / White Ranger, goes to a lot of these little cons, like, all around. He's been to Albuquerque a few times, I know.
Sick.
I wonder if that... Cool.
It's like, where are they now? Like the Power Rangers, where are they now? Like one of them's all like looking good and like pans
really
over
is, like,
to the other one, he's all fucking strung out. And you're like, damn.
It's a little, sometimes it's a little rough, but like I wonder if your dude's ever been to Albuquerque, because you get shit signed, like they're really nice. I mean, sometimes like they make you pay, but like they're really cool. And I wonder if he's met the Power Ranger, because they've all been here. I know they have.
I've never gone to like those big expos, but like.
It gets weird.
A friend of mine sent me an invite to it's like SkateCon or something. It's a big,
would be cool,
giant thing in California, like SkateCon or something. Maybe
that sounds super rad.
My friend Bartman just went to NAMM, National something music something or other, but it's a giant music thing,
like festival thing.
Yeah, it's like gear, you know. It'll be like
like
all
instrument
the
stuff, like,
all of the audio gear and all the instruments and all that. They'll all be there. Like there'll be an Ibanez booth with all the new Ibanez guitars and basses, or
that's cool.
You know, there'll be like a new a Tascam booth with all the new Tascam recorders.
Yeah, they have them for everything, man. They really do.
Yep.
They have them for everything. And I just like I said, I just know them because I like some of the shit that they promote. And then I got like my kids into it, and we just drag them but they love it too. But no, I just know that the Power Rangers have definitely been around to meet. It's cool though. You meet a lot of celebrities, like you do. Sometimes you have to pay to meet them, but like sometimes you don't. Like one time, Michael and I were just walking from one section of the con to another, and right behind us, I don't even know if you know who this guy is. And sometimes it sucks because we're like, we met this dude, and like people are like, who the fuck is that? But like we're walking across the bridge in San Diego, and we were going to Petco Park, which is like this other little park next to the convention center. And right behind, like right behind us, closer than you and I are right now, this guy named Will Wheaton was there with like his manager. So Will Wheaton was on Star Trek when he was younger. He was in Stand By Me. He was one of the little boys in Stand By Me.
Oh shit!
And then he was in Big Bang Theory playing himself as Will Wheaton. He does a lot of like nerdy shit.
Cool.
And so like he was, and Michael's like, that's Will Wheaton. Like I know that's Will Wheaton's voice because Michael knows voices. He's like, that's Will Wheaton. And we just kind of both turn around and we look at him and he looks at us and Michael's like, and he tries to give him a fist bump. He's like, please don't acknowledge me because then everyone's going to attack me and I'm just trying to get to this other like venue that I have to be at. And we're like, okay. And we like take a picture like this as we're walking. So it's really blurry and it's awful. But yeah, like that's, sometimes you meet people, but like, and you have to pay for the experience. But sometimes you just like run into people walking to other events. It's crazy.
It's cool, man.
Remember the Make 7 Up Yours guy?
Make 7 Up Yours?
Make 7 Up Yours. Like, it was a commercial. It was a commercial that 7 Up did for a long time, and it was like, Make 7 Up Yours. Like, that guy, I know, it's so random. Like, that guy. I met that guy, too.
Yeah, all that stuff, especially from back in the day, like the 90s. Like, my brother and I, we used to record, well, you know, I was quite a bit younger than him, so he would be the one actually doing the recording or whatever, but he would, like, dub, like, Mad TV or something on the VHS. Like record it from the TV, that way we watch it later. But you also have to record the commercials. So we'd have these VHS tapes with not only the show, but the commercials.
All the commercials.
And then when you watch them years later, you're like, oh shit, it's like the 1-800-COLLECT, save $1 And it's like that guy. And you're like, where the fuck is that guy now? You know?
No, where's and like, oh, the dude, you're getting Adele. Like that's that's another dude that was, yeah. And then they used to have raisins. I don't know why there was raisins that used to sing. There was a commercial. Oh yeah, I just had like no. That's old commercials. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Old commercials are nostalgic to us.
Crazy. I know. Sometimes I'll say something and my kids just look at me like. No.
It seems like humor has gotten cheap. Like a lot of movies. Like I was talking to my brother about Disney. I went to his house there like a week ago. And his girlfriend is like a big Disney fan. So so is Amy. I mean, a lot of us are Disney fans.
I'm a huge Disney fan. I'll blast music in the car. I don't care.
Yeah, that's how Amy is. She's got Disney playlists and stuff, and you know she knows all that shit. And I went to my brother's, and his girlfriend was watching Aladdin, the original,
the animated.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good, and it's like, I guess the only word I could say is like it was more mature, like. It was more thought-provoking. The animation, it was slightly a little bit more grown up. It's still a kid movie, but it's like if you really watch it, you're like it's
legit.
It's legit.
I mean, it's
like
Robin Williams.
A lot of stuff nowadays, I don't know how else to describe it other than an emotion that's like, yippee! Whoa! Okay! Like, little joke and a hip-hop beat with a stupid joke about whatever, and then, like, laughter, everybody. Really, like, here's some more, like, here's a laugh. A very expected spot where we're like, oh, there's a laugh.
Well, have you...
And you're like,
there's
what
like
happened to
studies on that. There's actually studies.
It's like they've dumbed it down.
And there's actually studies about why. It's not because they wanted to dumb it down. It's because it's the attention. It's the fact that like, and I'm not saying
not
it's just kids, right?
People.
They don't have the attention span that they used to. So before you could make longer
content.
And scenes, even just like longer scenes that you could put more stuff in there and people will pay attention. Yes, and now because of this,
you've got to give it to them,
and because
don't wait too long. Give them some more.
Yes, you got to keep their attention because if you don't keep their attention, they're going right back to this, and they'll lose you, and then you won't have you won't have it. Mm-hmm. So So instead of being able to do longer forms of like communication and discourse and everything like that, you have to have it every 2 seconds or else you're gonna lose them. There was a study on like Cocomelon. Why is Cocomelon, like, I know this little kid thing on, I think on Netflix. I've never watched it. I refuse to watch it. My kids are too old for it. I'm never gonna show them it. But like they were talking about it. It's like one every like second it'll change perspectives. They'll do something new.
Oh my god.
One. It's not even 1, 2, 3. It's like one. It's addictive to kids. And so I bet you anything that there's a correlation between what you're talking about with like the cheapness of a movie, like just the cheap laughs and stuff, and the fact that you can't put things long form anymore because you'll lose people.
I think it started to transition to throughout our growing up, you know, like, I don't know. I've seen it happen in music and in movies and in a lot of the stuff for young people too, where you're like, man, it's just like it's cheapened. And like back in the day, a kid would be reading like fucking Lord of the Rings, like,
oh Jesus, I love,
you know, like
The Hobbit.
That's a hard read, but like children, kids, you know, like a 12-year-old.
Harry Potter was popular.
Read that.
Do you know how Harry Potter was like that fucking big? Like, come on.
And even that, like, if you compare Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings,
right? And even
it is like,
I know,
you know. But and I love Harry Potter
Lord
stuff.
of the Rings is like
I gotta
one of my
show you
favorite.
the hallway too. Amy did the whole hallway all Harry Potter style.
I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings is like one of my favorite things of all time. I could talk forever about Lord of the Rings. So
it's
I got you. Yeah.
hella advanced.
Yeah.
And I mean, it blew right over my head. I never read those books.
And
even the movies I watch them, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? That guy talks too quiet.
I know.
I'm like, the only thing that bugs me is like, it's like super quiet. It's loud as fuck. Action scene loud as shit. Quiet as fuck. Super, like you really needed that information, but you missed it. And you're like, rewind that part.
What did he say? Go back. Speak, friend, and enter.
Like, fuck. Like, you gotta watch that shit like 7 times before you really know what's going on. You know?
No,
at least me.
Well, and I'll just watch it 7 times because I love it, and then I'll start telling people all about the different scenes and what happens and what was going behind the scenes. And I love fucking
a 10 or 12-year-old kid reading Lord of the Rings now.
No,
no.
I mean, my son is 11, going to be 12 this year, and Reagan's 9, going to be 10. Well, she's just turned 9, but no. Like,
and it's not that they lack intelligence.
And it's not that, it's just that they will not sit down and read that book. And I finally got Reagan to watch the whole first, like, the movie with me, but she won't read it. Like, I bet she's never going to read it. It's just different now. I mean,
I can't say that I blame them because I didn't even read them, but
like even now,
it's just hard. It seems like a
in
hard
school,
read.
Like the books they read, so either they don't read the whole novel, they just pick chapters that are the most important and cut out like all the other stuff, or they're real short. Like I don't
the
know
Cliff Notes version.
Or I don't know if you've noticed that, and it's not the teachers like choosing to. It's just the kids won't. There's no stamina, and again, it's not kids. It's like probably adults too.
Are you referring to even textbook material, or just books like library?
Like no, like books, like class books, like books.
They're more
very
like
short.
STEM scope style, where they're very short. It's like a magazine almost. You're like this ain't a textbook full. It's a magazine. This is like a Scholastic News when we were going to school.
There you go, like very small. And like I said, and sometimes if they pick a bigger novel, they don't read the whole novel. They read just the parts that are the most important parts, the key to literature, and analysis.
Oh, like even like English class type stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like even and it's like okay, well,
damn,
the kids they won't read.
Cheapens at everything.
They won't read.
I remember I was talking to my friends about this the other night, but we were talking about books or something. We were talking about the Lord of the Ring books. This is probably what's fresh in my mind. But how there were some books that they would make us read in class, like a book, like a novel or whatever.
Yeah.
And at first I'd be like, ugh, I don't want to read this. Ugh, like
that's the worst.
But then after a while, you're like,
you're into it.
You're into it, and then by the time you're done, you're like, damn, that book was sick, and you're like, you just got to give it a chance.
Yeah.
And there's something special about that.
Like pushing through, persevering.
Pushing through. Like it's just like, I'm not saying it's a lost art, but
I don't think I would have wanted to ever read like Angela's Ashes, but fuck, like now that I've read it, I'm never gonna look at certain things the same way, and that was just like a really. I don't even know if people know about Angela's Ashes as a book. But
is it an old book?
It's not an old, like it was about it's like this guy's Irish and he's living through something, and his like the first girlfriend he had consumption. People were dying all around him from consumption. He comes to America. Eventually he comes to America, but he was like at the time he was just living with his family, trying to raise money for the family and then like make money so that they could come over to America. and it's called Angela's Ashes. And yeah, like it was a book study that I had to do, I think, as a junior. I had the most amazing set of high school English teachers, like, just ever. The most amazing set. From freshman to sophomore to junior to senior, I cannot think of a better set of teachers to ever teach me. And they made us work hard. And yeah, I had to read that stupid book. And I had to
worth it.
And I never had to read, like, what's Romeo and Juliet? That missed me. Like, I never had to read it. But I did have to read, like, Dostoevsky. Never would have known about this dude. Okay, he's a Russian author. He wrote Crime and Punishment. It's a big book. Fucking amazing. Yeah. Would never know unless that teacher, it was 12th grade, unless that teacher made me read, and she did. She made us read this book. I fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah.
And I would never have read it on my own.
Never.
Because the things I read are not those kind of things. It's not like base literature like that. It's I read a lot of like fantasy and sci-fi and shit like that. So Michael Crichton, James Rollins. I was a fucking doofus. Met my favorite author, James Rollins, at San Diego Comic-Con one year.
Nice.
It was the worst experience. I really try hard not to bother celebrities or like just people in general. But, oh, Jesus, I embarrassed myself with that guy. I just couldn't stop talking to him. I was so excited to meet this man who wrote all of my favorite books. And I was so fucking awkward. But,
sometimes you don't know what to say.
I was just like hey.
Like, you meet the person and you're just like...
yeah, his, like, publicist or manager person had to come, like, pull him away just, like, awkwardly. Like,
awkward.
Yeah, it was the worst. It was... But I was so just like
starstruck.
I met this dude. Like, no, please get this lady away from me.
That's a good list. I just got an idea for like a list, like of life-changing books. Like, was there?
That would be great.
Because things that, and especially ones that aren't expected.
Right.
Where the person who recommends the book is like, look, I had no idea that this book would have impacted me the way that it did. But if I had to pick one, here's what I want, another person to read to get what I got from it, or some version of that.
Yeah, no, that's like, that is amazing.
Do you have like one title or one or two titles that would be like, I mean, I know it's a hard question. It's like what's your favorite color? Like, motherfucker, I like all the colors. How am I supposed to pick a color? I like blue, bitch. I like green. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if there's a life-changing one like that for me, but I do know that there's books that like have key moments in my life. Like, kindergarten was the A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. And it's like so there's like little books like that follow you, because then you have where the red fern grows. That was 3rd grade. I can remember specifically I read this book in 3rd grade. And then you just like, so I have books like that remind me,
represent an era or a time.
Like Angela's Ashes, that's definitely junior year for me. And Fahrenheit 459 was 9th grade. And Dostoevsky, okay, I was a little bit emo, and I like carried me through the rest of my senior year because it's so existential and like, what is life? Like,
so that might be the one. Was he a philosopher or something?
He
I
had
think I recognize the name. Like, is he on the?
Yeah, he had a lot of great stories and thoughts, and he was very much like existent. He was very much like a
like one of the Stoics.
Like,
is he one of those guys? He's not quite that
not
old.
So much, but he had some thoughts, and he had a lot of great books. And he wrote like The Trial. And he was a sad boy, and I was a sad girl at the time, so he just spoke to me at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and so that would probably be the one. And I had that all annotated. Like, I wrote in that book so much. I love that stupid book. And then I went to college, and we had to read it again, but since I had already read it, I was like, oh fuck, that's great. And so another kid didn't want to buy the book, and I said, give this book back to me, please. Like, it's my favorite book. I love it.
And you had all your notes and everything.
All my notes are in this one, but I'll let you borrow it so you don't have to pay money.
Never got it back. The book. Damn it.
I never got the book.
You bastard, wherever you are, you fucker.
I think I went to like a yard sale or something and bought it for like 25 cents.
Oh man.
Like another copy, but yeah,
it's just not that one.
It was never the same.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's that one again?
Crime and Punishment.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't want to read it for you, but this like it deals with a crime. This lady dies, and there you go. Like that's all I'll say, because it's pretty it's pretty trippy. And I think crazy. I like it because it deals with like what happens to the guy as he goes through the fate, like from killing to just like all the mental like things that happen to him as he like progresses through the story. It's fucking
Crime
crazy.
and Punishment. It sounds timeless.
Yeah, it's hard to read because it is written by a Russian author.
What's the date? Give or take. What's the time frame? When was it written, do you think?
I'd probably say
1970s, 60s.
Yeah, probably like is a little bit further back. I don't even think, because I'm trying to think if it even had to do. It was after the Bolshevik Revolution, which was like during the World Wars. So it was after that, like, yeah, probably like the 60s ish, probably 70s.
There was a lot going on in the 60s.
Yeah, there was a man, if I could just and you know what, like, to live back then when you didn't have like cameras on you and stuff and you could do shit and nobody's recording you, you could get away with shit a little bit more, even crimes, because as forensic scientists, like, they didn't have the technology. If you weren't caught red-handed, sometimes you weren't caught at all. Like, no. Fucking crazy. It's
crazy, those cold cases that have gone cold for so long and then they come back way later.
Dude,
like decades later, people think like, oh man, I'm good.
Was it the Golden
State? Still
State
come back and nail their ass.
It was like the Golden State, the BTK. Okay, the bind torture kill, the BTS or the bind torture, BT something, BTK killer, BT something.
Like a serial killer.
Bind torture kill. Yeah, maybe it was BTK, and yeah, it was a serial killer in like the Midwest, and he had gotten away with all of these murder. He would sneak into women's houses. He would bind them up with rope and stuff. He would torture them, and then he killed them. I'm sorry if you're not into that. I mean, obviously, you shouldn't be.
I'm definitely not into that, but no, but I can handle it. Okay, yeah.
And so like he killed just many, and he would write cryptic notes, and the police had no fucking clue who this man was, right? And he would have stayed anonymous. He would have stayed notorious. He would have stayed free. But he fucking went back in like 2007 or something and wrote a whole ass note or sent a voice recording. And by that time, like, we have all this technology. They figured out in 2 seconds, caught him, arrested him. Just this man living his life in like wherever it was. Someone who
studies just handwriting.
But they think they're too smart, and then they come back and it's like blah blah blah.
If you get away with something,
just let it go.
You fucking don't ever go back and do the same thing again. Like even here in town, I heard of a guy who robbed a place, got away with it, went back and robbed it again, and then got caught. And you're like, motherfucker, you pushed your luck. Like, you got away with it.
Just let it go.
And then you went back and did it again.
I think there was the Golden State Killer as well. He had gotten away with it, but this wasn't his fault. Well, it wasn't his fault. He got caught. It was from those, the little tests that they do, the genetic tests. Because if you do those genetic tests,
Ancestry,
the Ancestry and the other ones, if you do those, they put it in the database, and police and like the feds are allowed to look at those databases.
No shit.
And like they're allowed to go through them. So what happened was this, I guess, like a girl or a family member of the killer, they had his DNA on file, but they never knew who he was. Well, she went and did one of these fucking tests, and it popped as like a close relation, because they can tell like you're a close relation to this. And so then they started looking at that family tree and found out exactly who it was, and then he was arrested.
Yeah.
And
because I had heard that those were like exclusive, right? Where it's like Ancestry DNA, like you can't give your stuff not even to the FBI or whatever. And in my back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like when the government comes knocking and they're like, you're gonna give us that fucking shit. I'm like, I don't know.
No, they definitely have
What's in
access.
The fine print?
Yep.
What's in the fine print?
And so, like, this guy just got busted because one of his relatives decided to see what her family tree held. I just think it's fun. I just like, oh god.
You just never know where it's going to come back to get you.
So yeah, no, I think it's interesting now, and you could get away with a lot of shit back then, but not so much anymore.
Which is good and bad.
Good.
I think it's like that with a lot of stuff. Like, it's good and bad. Like, I'm thankful for the time that we came up. For the most part, I mean, I know you're a little bit older than me, but not much. God, Basically the same generation, you know, like '90s kids or whatever. But having that was like cool because at least we had a little bit of analog.
Yeah.
Analog media, like cassettes, then CDs.
Yes.
We still had payphones.
You got to see.
We still had video stores. We had to go rent a video.
You had to go to.
Like you still had to buy the whole album and listen to the songs. And maybe you had one of those big booklets with all your fucking CDs in there.
Yes, you did.
And, you know, all that stuff that we grew up with. And now it's just all like on a phone.
All on that.
And these fuckers don't even care about their phones. They just throw them around.
And they don't listen to albums. You don't listen to albums anymore the way you used to, like, at all.
You don't dive into it.
Really, you don't.
It's like we were talking about earlier. The long format is diminished.
Yes. And so I have a question because you're a music guy. What is your favorite album, like, start to finish, that you think...
Yeah.
I know, that's a big one. That's a big question.
One of them, right off the top of my head, is Metallica Black Album.
There you go.
Because it's just I can't, you know. Yeah. People who know, they know. Metallica Black Album.
Yeah.
Just, it's one of those ones, just start to finish. The audio production, the songwriting, the band, the history of the band, all the shit they'd been through by the time they hit that particular stride in their career. The musicianship, just the songs, the sonic quality. Bob Rock, the producer, like they lived in the studio for like a year and a half
to make it,
and it's just insane. It's just insane body of work, and some of those songs, like Nothing Else Matters, like that shit. There's orchestras that have recreated that song, and I mean, for a metal band,
to do
a lot of people know, like, if you know metal, you know certain bands or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're not into that specific genre or subgenre, you might not know. But they ended up transcending not just metal and rock, but like music. Like 1,000 years from now, if people are still on Earth, Nothing Else Matters will still be a song. And all this other shit, like what you doing at the Holiday Inn,
oh, Jesus,
like, all that will be fucking dead, and they'll still be playing Nothing Else Matters.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's like Beethoven.
Yeah.
So that's my one pick. I'm surprised I had an answer, but there's so many.
That's amazing, yeah.
But that's definitely the one.
I got into music. I think I really got into music during my senior year of high school. And I had never thought about just albums as a whole, like being a whole medium into itself, not just like one song, but a whole album. And I'm not going to lie to you.
Cumulative, like, body of work.
And I'm not going to lie to you. It was System of a Down.
You're fucking awesome.
No, that was who it was, who just kind of,
very cool.
It was, I bought this album and I was like, what the fuck is happening from start to finish? And it's maybe not like appropriate or whatever, but like the whole that's who did it for me. I never thought about it before awesome. Then.
The fact that you would say System of a Down blows my mind in a good way. And it was
but they were.
You were already cool.
Nah.
Okay, you were already cool, and now you're way cooler.
So I don't even. It was this one, that whole album right there, and I have it now on my phone because I can't even go without it. Just from start to finish, you just.
I think that one is Mesmerized.
Yes, it's Mesmerized.
Yeah, because there was a double, Mesmerized and Hypnotized. Yep, Mesmerized. Yeah, that one was dope. System of a Down for me is iconic too.
Yeah, I had never thought about it.
I think that was the third album, Mesmerized, or was they had Toxicity before that.
Yes.
That was a big one for me, but also the self-titled, the original.
That was.
I have memories of like riding in the car with my brother, jamming like System of a Down, like
high school
late at
era
night,
stuff.
Just like almost falling asleep, just passenger in my brother's car, and we're just blasting fucking self-titled System of a Down Spiders, you know.
Yes.
It's just like, damn, that shit goes
hard. I don't know why. Oh, you know why? You know what it was? Like, because I got really into the music shit for a while, and I would even buy like magazines. Remember Hastings?
Totally.
God, I loved Hastings. I would drive up to Alamo
to
get the music. There was like these magazines, and I would read them, NMR or something. Like, I don't even remember what the magazine was called now, but it would just say, like, you gotta get this album, you gotta get this album. And I was really into, like, the Strokes and people like that, the Libertines. I don't even know if that's even on your radar, but, like, I was into these, like, weird bands like that.
Sick.
That I love them. And that guy went off the rails. But I used to listen to them, and I wanted to find better, like, music, and I had never really listened to music before like that. And so then they said, you have to get that album, and I got that album. And
the System of a Down one?
The System of a Down, and I listened to it from start to finish.
From the magazine at Hastings.
It was like an alt rock or maybe a rock out. Like, I don't even remember.
I'm just picturing the scenario. Like, you go into Hastings and you pick up this magazine that you read regularly.
I was reading
and within
it.
the magazine,
it was like
the magazine's telling you, like, you need to get this album.
These are the top albums.
Drown yourself in it.
Yes.
And then you actually did.
And then I was like, okay, let's do it.
Oh, that's sick.
Like, that's, and so I started looking, because
I
was like,
sick.
I thought I knew music at the time, and I was like, because all I know for music is what we grew up very poor, so whatever my dad had, like, that's what we had. So I grew up listening to, like, the Eagles, the Cars, the Doors, the Styx, like, great music, by the way, great music.
Grew up right, yeah.
And then like, I just didn't listen to anything else until I had some money and got to go.
It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like college and finding your identity and stuff. Yeah. Like, you hadn't found your musical identity.
I hadn't found my man then.
And then, like,
it was all very. It was.
No, I know what you mean, because it's the same thing. Like, you know, music handed down from your parents, and luckily for me, I had an older brother, a couple older stepbrothers, who handed me some really cool music. And then I had a lot of friends, and a lot of them were a little bit older, and they had their fucking fingers on the pulse of the good music.
They knew
and
it.
They passed it all down to me, and shout out to all those motherfuckers. Josh and Julian and
I did have some cool friends who knew
all those
shit,
fuckers,
but I didn't know shit. Like, so I didn't even know, like, ska is one of my favorite, like, genres in general, and I didn't even know. I had no clue until, like, I have Charlie Krause and Chris and all of them. They were cool kids, and I was not a cool kid. I just liked being around those guys, and they listened to ska, and I was like, what the fuck is this? The trumpets, the sound, the music, the vibe. It was just, and it's like, you just want to get up and, like,
start skanking.
Yes. And I was like, this is amazing. And then then I was like, well, I can't be uncool. I have to go read this magazine and figure out this is a whole thing.
Gotta figure this out.
I gotta figure it out. Like, I can't be not. Well, I was very not cool, but, like, I couldn't. Like, I wanted to be able to talk to them, and, like,
it's crazy, huh? It's crazy, the whole, like, being cool or not cool.
Oh, and at the time, that's so important.
And then later on, you realize, like, the coolest people a lot of times were the ones who weren't cool, and a lot of the ones who were cool are, like, not fucking cool at all. And then, but there's, like, shades of gray.
It's just all there. I don't even know.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I don't know who I was trying to impress at the time. I just, like, that's why I keep thinking, I don't know who I was trying to impress. Like,
I think when you're that age, you're just a bucket of insecurities anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, or not just in any age, really, but
any
like a
age.
lot of us, we just walk around thinking, like, I've said this before, but there's like, well, what do I think of myself? What do others think of me? What do I think they think of me? What do I think they think of them? What do they think that I think of them? What do they think that I think of me? I think you just, like, I tried to write a list one time, actually recently. I opened up a Word document and I was like, what do I think of me? What do others think of me? What do others think I think of them? What do I, and you could just go on but I think when you're a kid, you're just, like, you're concerned too much about, like,
you do
what everyone.
Well, and then it's worse when you have anxiety.
Like high school and shit,
Anxiety makes you question everything.
Even though, like, we're teachers and stuff, I mean, it's a completely different world.
They're so different.
And not just
not in a bad way.
Not in a way that where it's like we're the old people now. Like not that
get
we're
off
old.
My lawn.
But it's not like we're like get off my lawn. It's not like that. It's not like these fucking kids nowadays. It's like we still understand, but the world has changed.
It's so different.
Like technology
and sometimes for the better, and sometimes I'm like,
spans.
where are we at now? Like, where are we at? No. Yeah, I ask myself that a lot, especially this last year. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the hell?
It got weird. It got weird with the whole pandemic shit.
And everyone got awkward. So everyone
socially awkward.
Everyone got awkward.
Damn. Like the first year that I was there, those kids were not awkward.
No, they were just
cool
chill.
and like they could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And now it's like, what's going on?
I'm not trying to throw all these other kids under the bus, but that year really...
It's different now.
I'm talking firsthand, like the evidence.
I mean, even my kids are different. Like sometimes I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Like,
that's a long time for a kid.
It is.
You think about a year
and
of
to
your
not
life?
see
Think
anybody.
about 10th grade. What was 10th grade to you? It was an era.
Jesus, yeah.
And just imagine that whole era of 10th grade, like being at home on a computer.
Running out, like sneaking out of school to get some coffee for the class. Like, just... Yeah.
When I think of 10th grade, I have a specific friend that I would skate with all the time. I mean, I had a lot of skate friends, but they're come and go. But there was one particular friend in 10th grade. That was our era. We'd skate together, ditch class together, and then like there's a lot of stories associated with just that that era and that guy and like that particular. And just imagine 10th grade like at home on the computer. Or 11th grade. Or
and I mean, maybe some
grade.
kids saw people, but maybe
weird.
kids, like, cause my kids didn't see anybody. Like, we stayed home. Like, we didn't, I think we came to your skate park once to buy a guitar from you.
Yeah.
And you were one of the only people we saw during the lockdown. And, I mean, I think that was one of the few times my kids got out. So I think that's why they wanted to come today, because they were like, hey, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's one of those memories. It wasn't just a Wednesday. It was like, oh, we saw ferrets.
The skate park inside the house.
Yes.
The guy with the ferrets, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think like that was a day for them, and so that's why cool. I think they wanted to come today. But I mean, just like they didn't see anybody. Like they didn't see anybody.
That's crazy.
And my kid, like Reagan, who's very like outgoing, she became awkward. Like she was just like, she went back to school and she's like, I don't know what to do with people. Like I don't know how to be around people who aren't my family anymore. Like
I hope it like takes a turn. It seemed like it's starting to get better.
I think so.
We just need that fresh start.
I think so. I think that like even just from the school year to like upward bound, like this program that I'm working over the summer, they're getting it like back into the groove of things. And I think that's, it's important. Like it's important.
Yes.
Because it was really weird for a while.
I think I've been going back to the teaching stuff. It's like I was so focused on getting licensed, alt license.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Starting and getting thrown in and just being like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then doing the alt license thing, and then doing like that computer lab, and then going to science, and then finally getting to art, and then being like, yeah, this is what's up. But then I had a bunch of jury duty, like that first year of art, and then we went home on COVID.
And then you're in COVID.
And so like I missed a whole bunch of that year, and then the next year was all online. Yep. Pretty much until like February.
So this was back, like your first
then it was
real
awkward.
year.
And then this whole year, like we had
but it's been like
masks
crazy.
and all that until like the following February.
Yeah.
And social awkward. And we couldn't give the kids zeros.
No.
You have like no leverage. Like you can't even give them a zero.
I haven't. So.
And then finally, so what I'm saying, I'm finally like, maybe if
all
year. Is normal, like if all is like normal, maybe I'll get like an actual first year where I'm like, don't worry about alt license and probably don't have jury duty because I already did mine and I'm good for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
And like
this is your
like,
this is your
hopefully
year.
Hopefully there's no pandemic or war or something crazy.
Something's gonna happen. Look, you get it knocked now.
But I'm like, maybe I can finally actually try. But
I think no,
and then I did the whole dossier thing.
Oh, you had to do that
because you had to move up.
You had to, yeah.
Which is dope though, because I mean, who wouldn't move up?
Well, now with the raises and stuff, it's pretty great.
I hope it goes. All that goes through.
Did you get a response back?
I submitted the strands.
I've heard people are getting their responses back, so
and they're all good. One of them came back.
I was gonna say
it was free. There was a window where it was free, and it came. One of them came back, and I'm pretty good at like even just bullshitting.
Look, people who take it too seriously. I'm sorry.
I can put it too seriously. A document together pretty well, proofread it, and I'm like, I'm pretty fucking literate in that regard as far as technical writing and stuff. Kind of like, I don't know. I hate to say that I'm a nerd about that stuff, but I'm like,
that's it.
I'm kind of a fucking nerd about writing and the way that you come across through writing, and proofreading and making sure you don't sound like a fucking idiot and all this. And but one of my strands came back and it was like, you didn't meet blah, 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 blah. And I was like, damn, I reread it and I was like, damn, like those fuckers got me. Like, I didn't realize what they were asking for.
Right.
They wanted a play-by-play of like this, then that. This is what I did. Here's why I did it. And like columns.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I see what they want. And so I just
then I
just cheesed it. I was like, on this day, here's exactly what we did and why. And I just gave it to him. And then I was like, there's no way this won't pass submit. But I had to pay like $100 for that
to do that
next
the second.
round.
I know.
But I wasn't bent out of shape because I was like, I got the other ones for free. So
that's
fuck it.
amazing. No, I
like,
know they were.
We're talking
doing
about
it
a
for
potential like $10,000 raise or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, between tiers.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be
tiers.
across the board, but I know
I
from
no
even just level 1 to level 2, it's like
$10,000.
It's like a significant fucking bump.
Well, it's $10,000, and then plus we got that raise, so it's like another $10,000. It's gonna be about.
But they rip your ass on insurance and everything else.
Yeah,
because what I've heard from other teachers is it's like, well, like I got the next level,
then you have to. But then they tax. They take it out. Or
jack
whatever.
your shit. Yeah. It's like we were talking about earlier.
The tax guy.
Negan with the fucking baseball bat with the barbed wire.
That's it. Like just.
Yeah. Half your shit's my shit.
I know. No, I had to do the alt license too. I remember that those strands. But I didn't have to do the opal because that happened in like 2019, June 1st, I think. And I submitted. Before then, you didn't have to do the dossier. You could ask to be level 2 based on your evaluations. And if you were highly effective, you just had to submit a couple letter of recommendations, and that was it.
That'd be awesome.
Right. And so, but then after June 1st, they made everyone do dossiers instead, like the whole prove yourself kind of thing.
And you were right on the cusp.
Literally May 31st, 2019. Yep. It was the postmark. I was like begging people that whole like last couple of days, like the 2 days. I was like, please don't make me do, like, please just give me a letter of recommendation. Please, 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 please. Yeah.
And then you got stuck doing it.
No, and then it was good.
Oh, you went through.
It went through, so I never had to do the dossier, and I feel bad.
Dope. No, don't feel
really.
bad. You didn't need to do that. You are exceptional. Let me just tell you.
Fucking crazy.
You are exceptional.
These, I don't know.
I don't know a lot of what but I mean, I'm not like dumb.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you're not dumb.
And
what are you talking about?
I can tell that you are exceptional at what you do.
It was a hard year.
Yeah.
In
general, like you're like pretty much the best teacher I can think of.
Thank you. I think
I'm serious.
Easley's the one who won that title this year, and I will not let him live. Like he'll hear that from me for at least another year. But
you're exceptional.
Like it's been fucking hard. Like I'm not gonna like.
Yeah.
I have not been able to teach my own set of classes since, God, I don't know.
Because you're department chair.
2020.
And then you teach how many sections?
January 2020. February, yeah. So you teach your regular set of classes, right? Like you have, how many classes do we teach? Like 7?
7 or 6.
Or 6. And then advisory. And then so like when a teacher leaves or gets let go.
Quits,
whatever. Nobody's there to take those classes. So I guess who takes those? It's the department heads who cover those classes. It's the department heads. Sometimes it's the admin too. So ever since February 2020 or so, I've had just like.
So you've been teaching what, chem?
I have now at this point taught chemistry, earth and space science, physical science, biology, AP biology, general science, and the only things I haven't taught that we offer at the high school are anatomy and physiology and AP physics, because I've taught everything else. And I have not been. I think there was about 2 months where I was able to teach just my 7 classes in about 2 years. And at one point I was teaching 3 teachers' classes. And you don't get paid, like there was a teacher there, and I don't...
Making a full salary.
Making full salary? They don't pay you another salary for that. Like, they don't... And so like, at one point, I was teaching, like, 350 kids, and just...
And on top of that, you did, homecoming or prom and Upward Bound?
I was doing Upward Bound. I was doing student council. I was doing science club. I was trying to,
Jeez.
Doing the RLAS, which I think is important, and we missed that this year. I'm hoping someone brings that back. And just a bunch of other, like, just anything really, because then I was a mentor, and I was tutoring. I was the science tutor for the district, and I was part of like the PBIS committee, and I'm on the leadership team, and I was just doing a bunch of shit. And it's you just like you do all so I had like 2 months where I got to teach my own classes, and those 2 months were amazing. Yeah. Like, I felt so like, oh, I am a good teacher. Like, this is great. And then I was like, oh, you have to go take this new position because you got a promotion. That's super great for you, but now I'm teaching other classes again.
Ugh.
And it's hard.
Are you level 3 yet?
No, I don't have a master's, and so there is a lady here who's trying to get me the national board certification. She's wrote me into it, so I'm starting that process, because why the hell not?
Will that make you eligible without a master's?
It gives you a bonus. Yeah, they give you, like, so the state actually gives you a scholarship to do, like, it's a strands. It's kind of like a dossier. It's a little bit more intense. You have to record yourself. You have to do a bunch of stuff like that. But you write these, like, it's more essay format than, like, linear, like how you were saying you have to tell the day and then the why kind of thing. It's more of an essay format.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to the dossiers that you had to do. It's just a lot, there's more to it. It's like a chunkier dossier. And like you have to record yourself and show your teaching. And so I am prepping to start that process so that I can, the district, I think it's the district, maybe it's the state, someone gives you a bonus, like you get a little bit of a bonus for finishing and being a national board certified teacher, because people want to say that, right? We have a national board certified teacher in our district.
And schools get more money and stuff, right? I mean, I think it all rolls downhill.
Yeah.
Like if you have more highly credentialed teachers
like
then they get more. And
then you do
makes
get
you
your
look
bump.
better.
Right. So instead of doing a master's, if you do this, and you still have to pay for like all this other stuff, but like...
It's almost worth more than a master's. I mean, yeah.
Why not? So no, I know I think you have your master's, right? A lot of teachers have their master's.
A lot of people fall into that category.
Yeah.
And I never would have dreamed in a million fucking years. Me. Master's degree. But the reason I did it is because I already had the bachelor's, and then I became a teacher and whatever, and then had to do alt license.
The classes.
Then you have to take the coursework, and then you're already like 75% of the way there.
So why not get
and
the
then
rest?
you're like, fuck it. I already spent all this money. I'll spend tomorrow's money.
Right.
You know, take out a loan or whatever, dumbass. And then, yeah, I'm like, fuck it. I might as well take 12 more credits and just bag the master's degree.
And get it.
And that way, if
I think it's amazing.
If I keep doing it, then you might as well get level 3
yes.
one day.
Hell yes. I think that's amazing. Yeah, because you get it.
And who knows what the future holds? But if I stick with it and keep doing it, then fuck it. You might as well be level 3.
You're gonna be that guru that's there for a long time, and we're gonna all go to Chasm. Hey, so remember like when you started 20, 40 years ago?
You never know.
You never know.
Stranger things have happened.
It's been, oh my God.
Time flies. I mean, I've already been here in this warehouse for 10 years.
Seriously?
That's insane.
That's amazing. I love your house, by the way. Like I love this whole building. I've always loved living. It's not practical for like Michael would never let us do it or anything, but I love like houses that are not houses, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like places like old school buildings that have
like
been
retrofit living spaces.
Yes. Like, oh, I would love to live in an old school. Like, I just, like a school that's been turned into a house.
There's a video on that. I saw one recently. I think it was Amy that shared it with me on Instagram or something. But there's a dude who's like, he wouldn't, you know, people don't believe me, but this is my house. And it's like, it's an old school. And he opens it up and it's like, he's got his one room here. He's like, yeah, this one's more my kitchen. Here's my bedroom. And it's like, at first you're like, damn, that's got to be kind of creepy, like dark hallways at night and all this stuff. But you get used to it.
Fucking cool.
Like this place seemed so big at first,
right?
And then I got a grasp over the whole thing, and I'm like, it's not really that big or creepy. I'm like, it's actually kind of like it's almost just like a big house with a garage attached to it.
I like that it's contained too. You have like little rooms that are like different rooms. I don't know. I love your house, and like I said, it's not. I don't think it's something I'm ever going to get to do because unless like we retire and then Michael lets me live my dreams. But
there's a cool channel. It's one dude. He's
like an abandoned bus. I see people turning houses into buses into houses.
Oh, I love all that stuff.
Shit, I would love to do that.
Tiny houses and all that. I'm into all that stuff, man. I'm actually.
I don't think my kids will let me do that.
Building a tiny house, like
Are you serious?
For a rental, like
that's cool
on this property or just a family guest house or whatever. But mostly like for like Airbnb and shit.
You know.
It's been on my plans. It's just that lumber prices and supply chain in general has gone through the fucking roof. So I'm just like, I put a hold on that project because I'm like, I'm not paying $65 for a 12x8 sheet of plywood or OSB.
Even
I used to get those for like $13.
I know.
And now they're $65. I'm like,
helium tanks. Okay, this is my thing. I was freaking out about helium tanks because Reagan had a birthday last month. And I always buy the little helium tanks and fill the balloons up and put all the balloons everywhere and fucking helium.
Yeah.
Okay? It's great. And they used to be $25. Like the little balloon time. It was a balloon time case. It had all the balloons and the helium tank. And really you just bought it for the helium tank. $65 now. Like, because the supply chains have gone to shit everywhere.
It's tripled or whatever.
And nobody's finding helium anymore. Apparently we mine it here in New Mexico. But, like, nobody's like, at least not at the rate people need it. And so helium, a natural occurring element that's, like, all over the goddamn universe, you have to buy, like, for $60. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on with helium?
Insane.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's not that far-fetched from charging for oxygen.
I mean, like...
And you're like, bro, they're like kind of like right there.
It's but apparently you just can't get
but,
it.
I
so
mean,
I'm like, if you're into
it,
stocks,
yeah,
helium.
If you're like trying to catch some helium, you're like, well, how would I do that? You know, I mean, there's value to that service for you, like people who can contain it, accessibly.
And then think about, I'm sorry, because now I'm like, think about all the things it takes to capture helium. So like, what materials are used for that? What elements are used for that? I got into the stock market whenever the pandemic, like the 2020 thing. Yeah. But I do the elements because I'm like silly like that. So I don't do like big shit like Tesla. I'm not gonna buy like Tesla
like penny stocks
like,
or something.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Like,
I had a friend, my friend that went to Austin, Joey D.
Yeah.
He did penny stocks and he
figured out. Yeah.
He hit some.
Yeah.
He fucking hit some pretty big, man.
And I mean, you just have to look at like what's coming next and like who would have fucking thought though helium? Like what the fuck?
Who knows? That's crazy.
My cousin does well in the stocks. He does well, but I'm not confident enough in myself to do anything more than like.
There's the day trading aspect. My brother was showing me where it's like the one guy. It's like he was like $300. This not my brother, but the guy he was researching and. Kind of like if I do it, I want to do it like this guy where he does day trading and the trades happen so fast. And he's like, I mean, he's on there. He's like, I only log in for like an hour a day, and he's like $300 a day keeps the day job away. That's his motto or something. He's just like, dude, I mean, think about it. If you could pick up $300 a day and you log in for an hour, I'm like, I don't know, like even working like a career like we do, I'm like, I don't know, maybe take home like $100 a day or give or take. I don't even know, $100 and something bucks a day.
Not too much.
If that, you know. But if you're like, you can make 3 times that just for 1 hour's work, you know.
I know. That's what my cousin he likes to do. I don't know how long he does it or what he does, but dude, he fucking like, he makes money, and like, good on him though. Like I'm not like that's great. I'm just not comfortable or confident enough to go and put like. And it takes money to make money. There you go. And you have to put it in. I put like my little penny and.
You can't be starting from scratch. You gotta.
My fun stock is Roblox. It's shit right now. Just don't invest in Roblox. But my kids play it. I was like, oh okay, like this kind of like let me do it. That's the only one that's like not an element like mining company.
You never know.
It sucks, by the way.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think we're just flying around on this planet.
Oh my God, no! You know, you have the.
I hate to zoom out that far. No, but once you do, you're like it's just a storm.
It's a little planet, and then you zoom even further out, and then you're like in a fucking like solar system, in a galaxy, and it's like. Sometimes when I get super overwhelmed, because again, like the anxiety shit, sometimes when I get super overwhelmed, I'm having a really tough day, I just like literally zoom out the way you just did. I'm like, you're here.
Yep.
And do you see all the rest of it? Like, this is
there's like a shirt or a meme or whatever. Where it's like you are here. And it's just a fucking spiral galaxy.
And with a little dot that you can't even fucking see.
You're like,
and okay. Like, it puts things in perspective sometimes, though. Because because some people are like, well, people have it worse than you. People have it blah, blah, blah. And I get that. But also, you're here. Like, this is nothing compared to the enormity of the universe and, like, what's happening. And I don't know. Like, it's...
And there's no explanation.
That puts me in a better mindset than the people have it worse than you. Like, yes, I know, but...
It does. It's weird how the not knowing and the uncertainty is just kind of like... what's the word? It's, like, relaxing. It's, like, it's purifying. You're just, like... Okay.
All right. Well, what am I going to do? I'm here for as long as I'm here.
Don't know.
Right.
And nobody else knows either. And so there we are.
There we are.
Out there.
We're in
this. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
We'll just go from there.
We'll just make it work. I don't know. I'm just not going to. That's why I'm not going to worry about it because, hey, life's going to move on with or without me. And life's going to move on with or without this decision I'm stressing about or with or without this thing that I'm concerned about. Like, it's just gonna go linearly at least until we figure it out. So might as well just make a fucking decision. That's why I hate Subway. Subway, they ask you too many questions. I'm serious. They're like, what kind of bread? What kind of cheese?
Oh, I know.
What kind of meat? What kind of toppings?
I worked there, and I worked there for a while back in the day.
Subway stresses me out.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. There's too many questions. There's too many questions.
The paradox of choice.
I'm like, I can't. There's too many. Just fucking make me a sandwich. Like, I will eat the sandwich and we'll move on with our day. I can't do it.
Paradox of choice. Did I choose the right one? What if I got the other one? Would it have been better?
Maybe I
should have gotten it toasted.
Today.
Maybe lightly toasted. I don't know. Is the bread too soggy? I wouldn't have known the difference if you didn't fucking ask me.
But see, like, then I'm like, I don't want to get it toasted because I feel like it annoys the people that they have to turn around and toast it. I'm so fucking weird. Like, that's I'm like, okay, will it bother you if you toast it? Because I do like it toasted, but I don't want to bother you. Can I get it toasted, but only like on half of the side? Like, I used to work at the pizza restaurant too, and people would be like, can we get like half the pizza like extra crispy and the other half not? Or how do you even do that?
And like, motherfucker, like, there's only so much we can do. Okay, we can make you a half and half. We can make you a half and half. Like, you can get half cheese, half pepperoni, but I can't guarantee or like half extra sauce. And you're like, what are we gonna do? Build a wall? We're gonna build a wall, like a dam for your sauce.
It's gonna be all on this side.
There's only so much we can do here.
Yeah. No.
Come on.
It stresses me out when I get asked too many questions like that. I'm like, I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna cook at home.
That's the best anyway. Yeah, just keep it simple.
I don't know.
Well, shit. We're out of wine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. Like I said,
no, it's cool. I'm glad we did. Hopefully, it was decent. I know it's a little sweet.
No, it's good. It was great, actually. If I was gonna pick a sweet wine, I think that
you ought to try more of this brand because it's. It's local and it's pretty good.
So my local go-to is Jasper's Place. I graduated this dude, Jasper Riddle.
Noisy Water. Dope.
Yeah. So I kind of like. I don't know. It's again like my cousin. He makes money doing his stocks. Like Jasper kind of took off with this place, and hell
He's
yeah,
done
like
well. My mom worked for a small business development center.
Yeah,
and he was one of their clients of the year.
There you go.
Not that she was supposed to. I mean, it's public information anyway. But she wouldn't tell me like people's business or whatever. But she'd be like, yeah, this guy, because I was talking about brewing.
Well, he's open. Like, yeah. Oh, do you brew?
I a
little bit. Tried.
Box kit, Betty Crocker style. Like if you can make a beer out of a box.
It's all chemistry.
Follow the instructions. Yeah, it's chemical engineering. That's literally, it's because of that class. A lot of people
beer
take
class
it in MSU, but that dude, I think his name is Taylor, Stephen Taylor.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy, man, and he teaches a dope ass class on brewing.
I don't know. Okay,
I highly recommend it. But everyone takes that class for a wider world credit, and then everyone thinks they're a brewer. And of course, I was one of them. So I was like, yeah, man, I fucking, do you brew, bro? Like, yeah, bro, I brew. Do you brew, bro? Yeah, I brew, bro.
Get all the boxes.
No, I've made about four beers.
That's good.
They're decent.
Yeah.
But I want to try from scratch, like all grain brewing. Try it for real, like instead of relying on the box and the recipe.
Right, like more holistically. I don't even know if that's the word, but like, yeah.
It's kind of the difference of like an old family recipe. Like my grandma used to make this cake, and I replicated it. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus like I bought this strawberry cake out of a box.
And I just made it.
They told me how to do it.
Yeah.
So I've made the strawberry cake out of a box. They told me how to do it. But
now you want to do
it's a little more intricate than that because there's temperature and
yes, no, it's real. It's real science.
And I mean it's gnarly.
Like
so the beers I made were definitely unique to me, but not
the one
not
we can't get down is the
extent.
Hefeweizen. We cannot get down a Hefeweizen to save our life, and I love Hefeweizens.
Yeah.
We cannot make one. Like I don't know. There's something to it.
Is it the lager yeast or something? Or?
I don't know what it is. Like we've made a few and they're pretty good. We can't get down it. I don't know what it is.
I've made it was like a German alt beer, which was supposed to be kind of similar to Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Which is why I chose it. It was the first one I made. And I dubbed it Orange Curb Skater Trash Ale. Skater Trash Ale.
There you go. Look at that.
But the trick with a lot of home brewing is ale yeast versus lager yeast, because ale yeast is more temperature tolerant. It's like at a wider range and it's more foolproof.
That's interesting.
Lagers have to be very specifically, you got to have like a very temperature controlled room and kind of really dial your setup a little tighter. But ales are more forgiving. But all the ones I made were ales, like a German alt beer with ale yeast. I made an Oktoberfest, which was actually really good. It was surprisingly good. I was like, God damn! Like I made this. Like I was surprised. It was better. And then I did like a cream ale, and I did a pumpkin spice ale.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
basic ass white guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not that I would put you on the like acid bases picture that I always say, like, here's the acids and then here's the bases, and then I show like Uggs and like pumpkin spice latte. Now I'm gonna put chasm right there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Basic. No.
If you were an element, what would you be? Where would you be on the periodic table?
Gallium. It's a solid, but immediately I already had a answer for that, dude. I didn't even mean to.
No, that's cool.
But like gallium, you put it like on your hand and immediately it melts because it has such a low like melting point. Like it's really easy to melt. So you're like, I'm solid, I am great, but as soon as you like put me in pressure, so I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. Gallium. That'd be great for anyone who like melts whenever they are.
I've never thought about it. If you were an element, what would you be? We were talking on one of
gallium is just really fucking cool. Just I don't think I'd be it, but it's really fucking cool.
What is gallium? Like a rough overview, like.
No, so like okay, so if here's the periodic table, here's hydrogen, and then here's helium, and the rest of the periodic table's here. It's more on this side. It's so then there's the staircase, that's the metalloids, and I think it's like right there. Yeah, it's on the staircase. It's germanium and then gallium, and it's the metal. Like it just like there you go.
What
it's
is
like
it in the real world context? Like what is it used for?
What does it do? Like,
Jesus. Anything in particular?
To show people how cool melting points are. Like no, I don't know. A lot of those metalloids are used for like computers, but I don't think gallium would be used for computing like silicon is because. So silicon's fascinating. I'm sorry. Silicon's fascinating because you think like, okay, the Kardashians, like they all have silicon in their bodies, like right, like all of California probably does, like, and it just enhances all those parts. And then like, but silicon's like fascinating because it's used in supercomputing. So that's like San Francisco area. Yeah. Like they put them in the chips, and that's what like makes it like the processors and stuff go like really great, and those computers is all silicon and other stuff, of course, but like.
Silicon Valley.
Exactly. That's why it's called Silicon Valley. So the same shit that's in the Kardashians, right? Enhancing them and making them be all whoever they are and doing all that stuff to them is the same stuff in these computers that is like rocking the San Francisco area and getting all those guys. Like, yeah. Anyway, silicon's fascinating. Yeah. And it's a metalloid, and so gallium is also a metalloid, but I don't actually know.
It's also waterproof as shit. No, like silicone fucking caulk.
Like yeah. And that's what it's used for too.
You want to seal up them skylights? Yes. Get you a caulk and tube or some fucking
silicon's fucking fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Fucking fascinating.
It's pretty badass.
And so when kids ask me like, "What's a fast?" I'm like, silicon. Have you thought about it? Silicon. And they get all like... I
haven't really thought about it, but it's pretty fascinating.
It really is.
Jesus.
Because it's a metal and it's a non-metal and it's used for in chips it's used for like as a metal.
And it's in computers.
Right. And then in caulk.
Waterproof.
And like it's fucking fascinating. And so gallium's right there. It's like
there's this funny video. This guy, his name's Andrew Bowser, and he does these funny videos, but he says I don't know. I don't know. Really fast. He's like I don't know. But at the end of his videos, he's like, whatever is pretty cool. So like I'll have to send you the video, but there's this one video where he's talking about, he like places himself in a fake news story. Like okay. One of them's like the unveiling of a Baphomet satanic statue. And then he goes on this long poetic speech about like being interviewed by like a news anchor, and then it pans to him. And then he just starts dropping all these bars about all this stuff. And he just, he goes on and That's on amazing. And on. But then at the end, he's like, I don't know. And then there's like a pause, and he's like, Satan's pretty cool. But like, that's what I was just thinking just now. It's like going on and on and on about silicon. He's like, I don't know.
Silicon's pretty cool.
Silicon's pretty cool. Like, I'll have to send you the links though. But it's so funny, that guy. But silicone is pretty cool.
It really is. Like, it's dumb. I guess it's dumb, but yeah. I don't know. I have fun with that shit.
Silicon or silicone? Like Comic-Con and all the cons we talked about?
I say silicon. But
silicon.
I guess, like, because I think, like, there's a couple of ways to pronounce something. Because we say aluminum, right? Like aluminum foil. Aluminum. But, like...
Aluminium.
The
thing is, here I'm hearing my brother again. He's like, this is so stupid, though, because there's no
other eye.
There's no other eye. I'm telling you. Like, you and my brother would be like
there you go.
You just meet.
There's no way it can be aluminium.
There's no aluminium.
There's no other... Yeah, no, I'm in that same vein. Yeah, for sure.
That's
sure.
fucking hilarious.
I can't.
I'm gonna have to at least,
Can't do it.
I don't know, because he's busy, you know, and he's got shit going on. But I'm sure he hasn't watched a lot of the podcasts and stuff. But I'm gonna be like, dude, you got to check out
gotta do
this little snippet here and this little snippet. One of them was aluminium, and what was the other one we were talking about earlier?
There's so many things. Zombies. What did you
There's
say?
something that my brother.
I know you did. You said it. No, I have no idea.
I'll have to find it later.
I've lost it. But yes.
Oh,
No,
shit.
I don't know. I don't know much. I don't know much at all, but I do know the periodic table. I do know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Science is
Silicon
pretty
nickel?
cool.
There you go.
No, we're gonna have to do this again though. This is cool.
I don't know. It's kind of cool to talk to you. I don't know. Sometimes we've talked. You know, we talked in the hallway. We talked in passing. You've come and said hi, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is different. This is a different kind of talking.
This
so.
is good. It's weird how time just disappears, huh?
Oh my god.
When you come in here, it's just like at first when you start,
What time
you're
is
kind of
it?
like, what are we gonna do? Or
Well, I didn't even know where this is going. It's almost 10. Jesus Christ, you said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, like we'd take a break, but the camera died earlier, so
Right.
that was our break.
That was
I guess. I mean,
That's fine.
I should have offered you, been like, yo, we could take a break or something. But
No,
I
it's
figured
cool.
we'd just keep rolling because it
Yeah.
happened early. But
I'm good.
yeah, we'll have to do this again. And then when you guys, when you get your other podcast thing going, you know, let me know.
I'm doing it
And-
now.
and
Well, let's see. If I don't bother him, if I do, like.
I
let's go.
certainly won't intrude or anything.
No, I will
but,
make you. I'll be like, okay, Mario.
if you
we
want-
gotta talk to Chasm.
And I'm not the end all be all of like, oh, I know how to do this or whatever. But I mean, someone who's gotten into it recently,
No.
and what a couple of things that you might get that might help.
I've been out for a while.
for
and
cheap,
things,
for cheap too. I'm not talking like
things
you're gonna
change.
spend a fuckload of money. Like I mean, doing it like on the cheap but quality. We could figure it out. A rig.
Hey, I have
In
my
fact,
summer job.
I have a
some
couple of
money.
things too that you guys could even just fucking have that I'm not even using. Like
don't say that.
some other stuff. Like I got a little audio interface. I have a 2-channel audio interface that basically gives you two mic pre's.
No, okay, that's what Mario was talking about. He
have
gave
one
me a list that I'm supposed to buy on
sitting
Amazon.
in my desk at the school.
What the fuck?
Because I brought it in case like a couple of the kids and I were
they
gonna
like
do
to
music.
do music. Yeah.
But it's just
I
sitting
think
in
it's
there.
cool that you do that because these kids need an outlet like that sometimes. I think
If
that's
I
amazing.
stay for the long haul, that's one thing I would like to do is an audio class because they have the video stuff,
Yeah.
which is dope.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever
the
like brought it
school
up?
has
Like,
a severe lack in audio, and I'm talking
we
like
don't have
when we do
anything.
a talent show or something.
Yeah, no, they
and
don't.
the kid starts to sing and the song goes away.
Oh,
Were you
no.
there?
okay, so
It was terrible.
Oh, no.
And you're like, you just feel so bad. You're like, there's no reason
and
why
then
this
I
kid
get
should.
embarrassed about that kind of stuff, like too for the kid,
This kid should be able to sing
without worrying about.
karaoke style
Yeah.
with a backing track, and the volume should match easily.
Yeah.
Where I mean, it should just be easy. I
Right.
mean, like a basic PA system.
I bet
Like,
the
why is there
choir
not a
lady would
student
love that.
organization running sound for the school?
No, that'd be that's actually.
I mean, come on.
I mean, Redoso has it. I guess like they have people who like kids who are into that, so they let the kids like. I guess it might be even a club. I don't even think this is, or at least when I was in school, they
You'd
let
think
kids
it'd be an
do it.
umbrella underneath the film category,
Yeah, like a music.
audio visual, but there should be an audio.
The audio
I think an audio production, which would also cover music. So I think it'd be a cool course where it'd be like a little bit of music theory, a little bit of how acoustics work, and
Well,
you know, reflection, absorption, diffusion. You know, here's what
would
a
be cool.
preamp, a microphone, phase cancellation, just all the audio stuff. You know,
I think that would be very popular too. I
like
honestly
proximity
think that,
effect. If you get closer, it's more bassy. You know, but if you move out a little bit, it's just like
You're
it's
right.
not. So I mean, there's just a lot to audio that people don't know. It's
Yeah.
basic. It's basics, but I mean.
I think that's cool. I think
Kids would
you
be
should
into
do
that
it.
too.
No,
They'd
they
be
would
like,
be
because
very.
they're like, yo,
into
I'm
it.
gonna be a rapper and shit, yo. Fucking,
my God,
yo,
all these
I'm gonna get
kids,
100K on
right?
cloud. I'm like this kid one time. I was like, what are your goals? And like, you guys share
What are
your
you
goals.
gonna
And
do?
this one kid was like, I'm gonna get 100K on cloud. And I was all, come again. And he was like, 100K on cloud. And I'm like, okay, so what you're saying, for those who don't know, I'm like, what he's saying is he wants 100,000 followers on SoundCloud. Is that
Right.
correct? He's like, yeah, that's what's
100K.
up. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, but I would like to help that kid. Be like, if you really,
Yeah, if you want to do that,
if you
that's your
actually
goal.
want to
like,
do this, you need to understand how microphone
here's
works.
how. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
You know, so you don't sound like dog shit. Where like not just your vocals or your rhymes or whatever, but your production.
but like actually the actual sound behind.
because I mean that
all
goes a
that
long
stuff,
way. Like
yeah.
if someone clicks on your YouTube video and your audio sucks, they're like,
not gonna
skip,
stay. Right.
skip.
That's that fast thing
In
again.
fact,
and just
they'll skip. They'll sacrifice shitty video quality
for the sound.
for audio quality. Because if your audio sucks, people are just like,
They can't handle it. Yeah. No,
I'm out of here. Dip.
That's it.
You know. So, but that'd be cool. Audio.
I think you should do. I think
you know what I'm gonna do though? Like, I already signed up for at least next year, so I'm gonna like take over audio for like the talent show at least.
Are you serious?
I'm just gonna be like, look, guys, like,
this is
if and when we do a talent show.
You know, it's up there. It's up in that little box.
Is it?
So you know how here's the gym or whatever, and on this side there's nothing. But you know how there's this side that has the
box with the
box.
Yeah,
that's where all that shit is.
They need to use that. They weren't even using that.
I think that's where all the stuff, because that's like
what they were using this year was a little
amp or something.
Speaker down on the floor, like a piano amplifier. Which
so when I ran the homecoming the first time,
I came by that one time.
Right. Because I was kind of asking you like, oh, what do I do, right? And I knew you did music and stuff, but like that one, like it's up there in that box. That's where that music comes. Like that's where the stuff is.
They weren't using that same rig.
It's the box. I don't even know. I wasn't there that day.
I'm not saying I'm going to take over, but I'm going to...
Do it.
I'm going to go in there and be like...
Be me and do like a bunch of different things.
I'm going to be like, who's running sound? We need to make sure this works out.
I don't think anyone's running sound. I think they have to figure it out.
I certainly don't know everything.
Yeah.
But
I think Cassie Bryant's the one who does the
production stuff. Yeah, the audio stuff.
Yeah, because she's choir and she's like the drama, and she's the
Theater
one who runs she's the one who runs the talent show.
Yeah.
And so I bet she's the one who had to figure it out. And I don't know. She'd probably love the help.
Yeah.
But she does all the theater shit around here too. Like she's doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang right now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she does like all.
We went to school together.
Did you really? Are you serious?
You know what's a trip is her and also Giles.
Oh yeah,
we're all like the same class.
Seriously, I just like took the student council and I just gave it to her. So
yeah.
I don't know how
she's cool as shit.
She seems really cool.
Yeah, it's just a trip that's like, I mean, I never really knew either one of them that well, but it's just like,
the same circle,
you know, we cross paths or whatever, kind of. But it's just like, how the hell did we end up here? It's just crazy.
No, I know. That's. I think it's interesting. A lot of people come back and like work at the school that have been to the school. I mean, Shay, she went to school here and then she taught at the school and now she's like running the school. Yeah,
what a craziness!
I know.
I think you could feel like two ways about it. Like there's definitely those voices in my head, like I talked about earlier. Like, you're really gonna work at the high school you went to. Like, well, how fucking lame, you know? But then at the same time, I'm like, no, it's kind of cool.
Who knows it better? Like, I think
it's kind of cool. You can make a difference and
you can make it in your community, right?
Yep.
Like in your own community. And I know I am not back in Ruidoso, but I do think it'd be weird to go back to Ruidoso and teach in Ruidoso where I went to school, like with but I do like being just slightly away and then being at this school where I can affect the community, because I think it's pretty great. I think these kids are great. I love what I do, even though I had never planned on doing it.
Yeah.
And even though it overwhelms the fuck out of me sometimes, I'm like...
Me too. Yeah,
and I do it for those guys out there running around on your court right now, or your thing right now.
Yeah.
Because what would be better than sitting front row at the graduation, seeing your kid just like walk across that stage? The parents have to be way the fuck out there.
Yeah.
I get to be right there.
Right there.
And I don't know if I'd want to ever hand them the diploma, be like an admin. I don't think that's I think I'm a teacher. Like, I want to be right there.
Yeah, I think there's two different types, you know, where it's just like...
And I'm definitely the type where I'm like, I'm going to teach.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to work office stuff, admin stuff. It's just like, no, man.
I like being in the classroom. I like getting these kids excited for science just a little bit. I don't know. That's my whole thing. Just get a little bit excited.
Science
is cool.
Science is pretty cool.
Man, maybe I'm that guy. Yeah.
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 Yeah, anyways. You never know. I mean, we definitely affect people. You know, I had teachers that affected me in a lot of ways that I didn't know until later I realized, you know, I'm just like, damn. And it wasn't even necessarily the content.
Right.
It's just something they said to you. Or something, or like, you know, some of those teachers made the difference.
Yeah.
And if you can be like a little bit of like
that to someone sometime, some way.
Yeah, that's the world to somebody else. And a lot of times it's unseen or unspoken, and you never really know.
And you never get it. You never get it back. I know.
But you were there for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's more obvious where the kids who cling to you. Or,
Oh, for sure.
Or like
I have totally ruined many kids' lives
they
by
let you
making
know,
them
like,
love
hey, you were
chemistry.
somebody for me. And
Right.
You're like, damn, that's cool. That's special. But there's a lot of other ones who will never.
They'll never say it.
They'll never tell you, and you'll never know. But you were still somebody to them. So that's cool as shit.
I think I don't even know if it's a PD. I don't even know. Maybe it's just my own brain. But like, kids come back 10, 20 years later to their reunions. They're not talking about, hey, remember like first period English. They're talking about, hey, remember that teacher? Hey, remember Chasm? He was so cool. He let us go into his room. We could hang out, do art, got to listen to some music.
He put new strings on my guitar, man.
He helped me do some stuff that, like, now I'm in a band. Like,
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about. Like, not that they're always talking about teachers, but like, it's the memories that they made in high school and like the people who shaped those memories. It's not, hey, remember when I had to take health in 9th grade? So sometimes when I'm feeling bad, I'm like, no. Someone will remember, hey, remember when we got to like build hot air balloons in chemistry? Like, remember that? Oh, I didn't take chemistry. Oh, you're fucking missing out. We got to build hot air balloons. Like,
Cadena was awesome, man. She made us breakfast, man.
She made us breakfast. I did.
That's
Jesus,
dope.
yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
And so, I don't know. Sometimes that's all I have to think about to get me through because, damn, it's a hard job. It's a hard job.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Well, we're in it for another round, huh?
I am definitely in it, and I've dropped a lot of things, so I think I'm gonna have a good year. That's all I know. Like, I'm going in positive. Like, I am gonna have a great year. Whoever's coming to chemistry, whoever's coming to AP, like, we're gonna fucking rock it.
Dope.
Like, it's not gonna be miserable, swampy, like,
no,
coming back out of COVID stuff. We're going.
That's how I feel too. I'm like, I'm gonna actually
this is your year.
I'm gonna do the best that I can and actually, like, actually do it for real.
And we're doing this.
And not just be like distracted with all this other bullshit.
I mean, I may like dress up like an Angry Bird and like go in your class one day or something, but a dinosaur again.
Definitely. Don't try to cheer me up. Okay.
This may happen, but otherwise.
I wouldn't have it any other way. That'd be great.
No. I mean, I have that Angry Birds costume. I put it on like once a year and just like teach with this Angry Birds costume on. And like these kids are like, what the fuck's happening? What's going on? Like, what have I walked into? I'm like, and I just serious, like, don't even address the literal bird costume that I'm wearing. Just like, no, we're seriously learning about something important here, guys. Like,
that's excellent.
I don't know.
And it's going to be challenging for us in another way because Mrs. Wales is no longer with us.
I know. She's amazing. Oh, she's amazing.
And she's a legacy.
And she was there forever.
So, and those are some shoes to fill. So I don't know if we're going to end up with anybody.
I was going to say, do you know?
It's just back and forth. It's kind of.
And it was the stuff. Like, she did the stuff. Oh, Jesus, one of the first memories I have
and ceramics
of that
and clay and.
Yeah. One of the first memories I have of her is, like, we were in parent-teacher conferences in the fall of, like, my first year there. And she was just making. She just brought stuff because we used to have to sit at tables.
Yep.
And
all
she
day.
just, like, all day. We had to sit at tables in case someone showed up and talked to us.
Not in your room,
right,
like
not
designated
in the room,
tables.
in the tables, like, in the open area.
Yep.
And so she was kind of, like, in a table kind of there.
She's like, I got stuff to do.
And she just, like, was putting together, like, I don't even know what she was doing, okay? My hands don't work this way. It was so fascinating. And I caught myself, and I was like, oh, this lady's gonna think I'm staring. And I was staring at her, but I was like, oh, she's gonna think I'm weird. But, like, she was just making something. I don't even remember what it was anymore, but they were cute. They were, like, these little, like, three-dimensional lantern-y things, and she like made a fuck ton of them and the big and small and whatever, but they were these things, and I was just like, what the fuck, like, that's so crazy that she can make. And she just, and I was like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that?
She's awesome. So like our situation will be a little different over there, but we'll see.
I know
I want to have her on here.
She'd be
like, I don't have nothing to say. I don't know what we talk about.
I don't think I had anything
I'm just
to say.
like, dude, I'm like, you've got a world of stuff to say.
I talked to her that last day she was there checking out. She's even
so
those
rad.
Few minutes she was,
She's so rad.
Just fascinating.
She's gonna do
she's doing an art show.
A big art show.
Yeah, she was telling me about it. She was telling someone about it. Maybe it wasn't me, but I heard because I listened to things.
We should definitely go to that. Maybe we can.
Yes, we need to support her and she said it was all about her time teaching or something. It's
like
all
a
about
legacy art show.
Yeah, isn't that fucking cool? Like that's I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. I love you guys art teachers.
Because she's got all this stuff too. She's like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with all this. I told her, I'm like, maybe you could give everybody like a voucher or something, like everyone who shows up, and you're like, here, you put this next to the thing that you want.
Oh.
And then like that way she can help get rid of some of all this stuff.
Like actually.
I mean, some of it's claimed, and if
Right.
she's listening, I'm not trying to tell her what to do, but I'm like, if you need help getting rid of some of that shit,
That's crazy. That's cool. I mean, and
be a
she
good
just
way.
I don't know. I'll take a pottery class from you if you're looking for extra money and just need you can do some pottery, and I'll like go learn, and I'll probably make a huge ass mess, but I'll go learn how to make something from her.
that stuff. Yeah, there's a whole world to that stuff, man.
I don't know. I I never got to. I could have, but I never took any art shit. So I know nothing.
Well, it's never too late. You never know.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to teach me how to do pottery, I will pay you.
It's always good to be the like back in the classroom again on the other end.
I know. Yes.
Like David Goggins, he's like
Getting
this ex-Navy SEAL guy who wrote a book, Can't Hurt Me, and he's amazing. And some people, he's a little intense.
Yeah.
And he's a little extreme, but like he is just the ultimate hold yourself accountable. Like you can do it. You can come from fucking the depths of hell and overcome kind of guy. And it's not fake. It's not like it's not some self-help bullshit. Like it's the real story. Like it's one of those books that we were talking about earlier. And it's a non-fiction book, but it's David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. That's one of the books I would put on
the
list.
table.
Like,
we're gonna have to do it.
Change your life, but there's certain people it might turn them off or whatever. But if you're looking for like, I've got more to give, and maybe I've just been lazy, and you're like, like Goggins will help you fucking find more.
He'll motivate you. He'll push you.
Yeah, he's always like, yeah, man, you got to be that dumb fuck in the classroom again, and like, like put yourself out of your comfort zone or whatever, and you're like,
it's true, like learn new things. No, that's always a motto I've had. I said it during my speech whenever we graduated. I got to speak at graduation and stuff. I was just like, be a sponge, learn new shit. Like learning is you're never complete. Like there's always something new to learn. There's always something more, and when you think you've learned it all, learn fucking more. Like go find something else then. Like if I think I know enough of this one subject, I better find another subject. Like
that's it.
Never, just always push yourself to do better, be kind. Just be kind to people, dude.
Dude, your son has that shirt on, huh?
I know, he does.
I almost said something. I was like, dude, your shirt's rad. But like, we got caught up. But like, I'm gonna tell him before he leaves.
No, you just gotta. I try to push that on my kids. Like, always, like, push yourself to learn something new, even if it's scary. Don't be afraid to fail. Fucking be kind to people. Like, it's not that hard. And I think those are like my tenets of life. That's it.
That's excellent. Yeah. Kindness is free, right? Just give it away.
I do. I have that like radiate positivity. That's you can't see it, but yeah, it just says radiate positivity on my phone.
Beautiful.
Like that's what you got to do.
That's it.
So. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, shit. Thanks for coming.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I talk a lot.
This was excellent. No, this was absolutely perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's why I'm a teacher. You talk. I tell kids sometimes. I'm like, fuck. So. I'm a narcissist. That's why I became a teacher. You have to listen to me, and I do like to talk a lot. So you're gonna have, and you have to sit there and listen. So like, let's talk about some chemistry, right? Yeah. I just talk, but yeah, it's great. Thank you for having me.
No, this has been great, and I knew it would be good. And I
didn't know what we were gonna talk about.
It's just I never know what we're gonna talk about. That's the whole point, Like a lot of this is skateboarding and music and stuff because it's like
the only thing I know about skateboarding is Foundation Skate Company. That's the only, and that's the only thing. Me about that. Yeah, that's the only time. That's the only knowledge I have in my brain.
Because you had some thread, some like a shirt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like the only thing I have. That's it. That's the only skateboarding thing I know. I used to watch like the X Games and shit.
That's still cool that you even know what Foundation is.
I watched the videos. They had these like videos, right? Yeah. And they would just show like tricks and shit.
Yeah.
And then I used to watch the X Games, and they would like. One of the last times I watched it, they had just introduced that really long ramp, and they had to jump across
the mega ramp.
Right, and that was the last kind of year that
time you were tuned in
to the skating community, and it was that time when they introduced it. Now I hear a lot of people land that shit, but at the time it was like brand new and
groundbreaking.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I mean,
so anyways,
you know a little bit, but yeah, like I was saying,
I know
it's
a
like
little bit of a lot of things.
Orange Curb is like it's a skate company, and it's like a brand, and it's a time, and it's a place, and it's a vibe, and it's an era, and it's like. It's me and it's everybody else, but at the same time, it's like the podcast. I was like, what am I going to call it? And I was like, everything I've done was already kind of underneath the Orange Curb umbrella.
Got to do it.
It's like, I'll just call it Orange Curb Podcast. Fuck it. Instead of calling it like, Alamo Podcast or whatever. But it's kind of just capturing a conversation of people that I've crossed paths with. And there's no format and there's no
It's amazing.
It just is what it is.
I love it, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it's absolutely perfect. So it's nothing without someone to talk to. So thank you for coming. Yeah.
Your orange crib. This sticker is the only thing I have on my desk at work. Like my demo table has like all the stickers, and the kids come in, they add stuff every year.
Oh, sick.
But that is the only sticker I have on my actual desk. So
Chop Dog lives on, man. Chop Dog is gangster.
And everyone's like, "Can I put something on your desk?" Nope, that's the only one.
Damn, because he sees it all, dude.
He does. Well,
crystal clear vision of the past, present, and future. He knows, dude. He just gets it. Here's where we were. Here's where we are. Here's where we're gonna be.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
All
right on.
I gotta get my kids to bed.
Let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Thanks for y'all tuning in, and love you guys.